Ironically, today's game is homecoming as the Eastridge Lancers play host to the Wilson Wildcats. Eastridge Superintendent Mary Rowe, Board of Education, welcomes you to today's game and thanks you for supporting our student athletes. On behalf of the New York State Public High School Athletic Association, Section 5, and the East Rockaway Central School District, we welcome you today and remind you that good sportsmanship is both on and off the field.
Today on the Varsity Media Sports Network, it's a Section 5 battle of unbeatens as the 4-0 Eastridge Lancers host the 4-0 Wilson Wildcats on homecoming here at Erna Frank Field on the campus of Eastridge High School. Hello everybody and welcome to the Varsity Media Game of the Week. I am Joel Balthaser and I'm excited today to be joined by a very special guest for today's game, Wayne Eagles head football coach and the owner of New York State Elite Athletics, Mr. Dave Marine. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks very much, Joel. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be here, and I appreciate everything Varsity Media does for Section 5 and the whole state of New York. It's going to be an exciting day, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Well, today's game has been built up as potentially the game of the year so far in Section 5 football, as both teams enter with a perfect 4-0 record and looking to take over sole possession of first place in Class A. Let's start by taking a look at the Eastridge Lancers, who are off to their best start since 2014. Now, we had a chance to watch them last week on our broadcast against rival Irondequoit, and they continue to do what they've been doing all year. Control the possession, get the ball to their playmakers, and play good team defense.
Yeah, playmakers, Joel, is definitely going to be the theme today for both sides. From Eastridge side, trying to prepare for them is like preparing for two different offenses. They can spread you out, but they also can go smash mouth football behind Austin Schaefer, number 74 at 6'3", 315 pounds, and number 72, Najim Dow at 6'4", 325 pounds. And on top of that, they run the no huddle, and they have three different styles of running back. So definitely going to be tough for the defense to prepare for them as far as Wilson goes. And Eastridge defensively, they fly around to the ball. They have 9 interceptions already on defense in just 4 games, led by number 1 Tony Arlen Jr., who has 4. Coach Jobson's had his biggest concern is making sure we minimize our penalties. We're averaging over 400 yards a game, and that's with a bunch of touchdowns called back. So if we can minimize the penalties, I think we'll be in good shape, Coach Jobson says.
Yeah, 400 yards a game, 300 plus on the ground. Pretty incredible. Now on the other side of the ball, we turn to the Wilson Wildcats, who are off to their best start, or their third straight 4-0 season. The Wildcats are putting up huge numbers on offense, averaging 41 points per game, and there's no doubt the success of this team is built around 2 key factors: big plays and speed.
Definitely big plays and speed, and it'll be interesting to see with Brennan Clark, 6'5", wide receiver, 195-pound senior, number 6. It's going to be a tough matchup for Eastridge all day with their corners at 5'10". So it'll be interesting to see how they defend that, but at the same point, they've got to defend the ground game against electrifying number 4, Jakir Moore, who anytime he touches the ball, hold your breath because he can take it to the house. And he's going to do it behind a line that averages 275 pounds. But on the other side of the ball, Wilson's defense is flies to the ball just like Eastridge. They arrive in a bad attitude. Coach Ron Kavuta, the defense coordinator, is always prepared. His biggest guy up front is number 55, who's only just a sophomore, Sherrod Watkins, 6'1", 290. I know Coach Jobson said he's really concerned about how they're gonna contain him, because of the fact that if you try to run away from him, he's fast enough to get there. Right. But if you run at him, you double team him, and you're going to free up a linebacker. So it could be a tale of who has the ball last today. Yeah, it's interesting to see some of these matchups. We'll get a chance to talk about as you see the home Lancers have made their way onto the field. Now, Coach, this game has the right ingredients for a great game. You got high-powered offenses, big play threats, speed all around the field, and it's homecoming here at Eastridge. Yeah, it's an electrifying atmosphere already. I'm just hoping I can keep up with the speed myself. It's going to be both teams are going to be fast-paced. It's a playoff atmosphere. it's Eastridge homecoming with two well-coached teams and a lot of speed and a lot of playmaking ability. So hold on to your seats. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, we've been talking about this one all week. I know a lot of people are, and a lot of people tuning in to watch today. And just such a great environment here. It's homecoming. There's been people here since earlier in the morning. They had a parade. They had a carnival going on. Just fans pouring in early to see their Lancers play. And as we get closer to kickoff, the crowd is pouring in. We're starting to get a really good-sized crowd. And let's look at the weather outside. You saw the numbers on the forecast, and it looked a little chilly, but it's actually pretty nice out.
It's great. It's great football weather. Nice fall. The leaves are just turning. It seems like they just turned overnight, and couldn't ask for a better day for homecoming.
Yeah, game time temperature here at Eastridge, 55 degrees. So the teams are getting set for the national anthem, and we are going to take a quick break and come right back for today's big game. You are watching Section 5 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the Varsity Media Game of the Week. We're excited to have this one today. Wilson versus Eastridge, two 4-0 teams as we get set for the national anthem. We will pause for the playing of the anthem. Currently having some technical difficulties here at the stadium, so we're trying to make alternate plans, but we have a few minutes now as you see both these teams are ready for this game. As we talked about all week, as a coach, you keep your players grounded and ready, maybe not get too upset, but getting them ready for a big game like this.
Yeah, as a head coach,
Play the CD.
Come on, Bob.
Yeah, you've got the players for Eastridge out warming up earlier today. You got this carnival going on before you go on. We'll pause for that.
So
close to football here on the Varsity Media Game of the Week. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I'm Joel Belfazer, joined by the Eagles football coach, Mr. Dave Marine. There are matchups all over this field. We're talking about a lot of players. There's going to be a lot of plays to today's game. Is there any of those matchups in particular you're looking forward to see today? Just about set here for Eastridge High School. It's homecoming day. Here is the battle unbeatens. Eastridge Lancers and the Wilson Wildcats. The winner is going to come away in sole possession of first place in Class A. And this Class A is really shaping up to be a race of not only these two teams, but a bunch of teams. So this is still a couple weeks to go. Still pretty good. Wilson's going to get a first back on offense. So the kick is over the head and picked up at the 15-yard line. Still loose, and it looks like Eastridge is going to come away with this. What a start for the Lancers. That's number 25, Matt Brantley, jumping on that loose ball. So what a great start if you're the Eastridge Lancers.
Yeah, Matt Brantley, their running back, he makes plays on offense. They can take him out of the play. That's just for to the running
quarterback, Ruben Torres, was bottled up immediately. Ruben Torres is an interesting player. He actually was on the sectional winning finest team last year. Transfers over to Eastridge, so they had a bunch of players last year. Bounces it back outside, stood up and keeps going and busts his way into the end zone. That is a big-time run by number 4, Ruben Torres.
And no flags at all, big-time play, and that's the tough part about Wilson, trying to defend.
Ruben Torres just keeps the motor going, and he is a tough man to bring down.
He definitely is the guy that's going to tap the ball. Yeah. 7-0.
So three plays today already, and it's 7-0. We thought it was going to be a shootout, and this one's already living up to its billing. Very exciting. Yeah, that was, it was a tough hop on the kickoff, and maybe the nerves are a little bit higher, amped up for a big game. It's an unfortunate start for Wilson, but now as we have pretty much the whole game left, there's plenty of time for this Wilson offense to get back on track.
For sure. Outlaw spear bounces funny ways.
Yes, it does.
Especially on the turf.
So there's going to be kickoff number 2 for the Lancers. Back deep for Wilson is Jakir Moore, the dangerous tailback for the Wildcats. Kickoff is up, and it looks like it's going to be fielded by Moore. And that one squirts through his legs a little bit at the 15. But able to pick it up, runs left, and is tackled. Nice tackle over on the side by Eastridge. Number 21, Eric King, I believe, got that tackle and wrapped up Moore at about the 22-yard line.
Well, I tell you, a little bobble again there. Try to tell your players that don't make the lead bigger than it is. It's week 5. More than halfway the season, but there's a lot of game to go. There's a lot of season to go. Hopefully not trying to do too much and play within themselves.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
Interesting formation here. Backfield.
Handoff's going to get wrapped up, and he fumbles. More fumbles, and Eastridge has the ball again. Another turnover by the Lancers.
Unbelievable. We talked about the offensive line, a little bit about the defense, and yes, Eastridge has been in the plus. I think they're +4 in turnovers this year, and with nine interceptions. But they've got 2 fumble recoveries early on.
Yeah, what a big play. Moore was wrapped up by a host of Lancers, and then the ball just squirts free, and that one was grabbed by John Davis, I believe, came away with that one in the pack. And for the second straight time, Eastridge is going to have the ball inside the red zone. They're going to start at the 15-yard line.
That would be interesting if they come out with a little counter here.
They're going to give it back to Torres, who bounces right. He's going to be chased on the outside. That's going to be a nice tackle over on the outside by number 2, Sam Jackson. And there's some of that speed that Coach Jobson was talking about from this defense.
That Sam set the edge. Sometimes they get inside that double team, get caught up trying to read long. He did a great job setting the edge, not letting him get outside. Those big stops, if he got outside, there was nobody behind him. Yeah,
it looked like he was going to walk into the end zone there if he got around Jackson on the corner. But big stop's going to bring up 2nd down and a long 8 for the Lancers. Going to switch it up. Looks like Brantley is in the backfield now for Eastridge. And that's a good job by the Wilson defense. Good penetration up the middle. And they're going to get a sack on Sharon Davis.
Yeah, it looked like it was trying to be a fullback counter. He tried to reverse, sell the pitch, and inside, and there was just too much pressure. And that goes to what we talked about, Sharon Watkins. He's such a big ball to get off, and I think they tried to catch him, but he got in the backfield so he could hand off the back.
Yeah, you've seen he almost took the handoff there. He is quite a force on that defensive line. So it's going to bring up a big third down and about 17 for Eastridge. Davis is going to hand off. That's going to be Torres bouncing it to the left, and a nice tackle again by Wilson. Number 14, Dejan Crumity with the stop. That's going to bring up a fourth down and decision time already for Coach Jobson.
I'm expecting they're going to go for their kicker is a toe ball kicker, which is tough to kick from an angle and hash and get in left hash. I'm sure they're going to go into some type of empty set. Put the ball in your quarterback's hand, Sharon Davis, and probably move him out of the pocket a little bit. Here's the empty set that trips away.
Yeah, you got 5 wide receivers set here for the Lancers. As Davis calls out signals, takes the snap. He's going to look downfield, fire into the end zone. There's a man, and he's well covered. That's going to be out of the back of the end zone. I think Brantley's looking for the flag, but he is not going to get it there. So that's a big stop for this Wilson Wildcat defense after giving Eastridge a chance. Another one inside the 20.
Coach Mortier's got to be happy giving the ball up twice inside the 20 to stop my defense. I know Coach Cavulo, the defense coordinator from Wilson, is going to be very pleased as well. And we'll see how they respond.
So that's going to be the second offensive possession for Wilson. They're going to start on the 22-yard line. Jackson back at quarterback, flanked with 2 running backs. And he's going to hand the ball off. This is going to be Brennan Clark taking the handoff. And nice job. Stopped for minimal gain by number 1, Tony Arnold.
And Clark, like we say, is 6'5". I'm surprised he got him in the backfield right now, but he covers a lot of ground. He doesn't look fast from here, but he just covers so much ground with his long legs. And I think they're going to try to stretch that out a little bit.
You know, a lot of times with those big running backs or big receivers like Brennan Clark, it takes him a little while to get going, but he's got a quick initial burst. So Jackson back in the gun for the Wildcats. He's going to hand it off to Jakir Moore. He's got a little bit of running room, then stood up by Arnold at about the 30-yard line. It's going to bring up a more manageable third down. It's going to be about 3rd and 2.
That was a great play by Arnold. That's a textbook of playing the cutback because the cutback was there, and you ask your defensive players to play off the backside hip for the cutback, and Arnold made a huge play there because that would have been a big play.
So 3rd down and 3 for Wilson. Early in this game, 7:48 to go in the opening quarter of play. Jackson with 3 backs behind him. Take the snap, gives it back to Moore. He's got a seam. Moore's still going, get a great block out in front of him. He's going to pick up the first down and a bunch more. And once again, Arnold takes him down, but not after a gain of about 20 yards.
Dante McGowan, what a block. And it was a great job by Jakir Moore letting him set that block up. It's interesting, we talk about all the speed and the spread. Eastridge just wins the spread really because it was 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. And Wilson's really kind of packing it in offensively. It's almost like they're saying, you know what, we both have speed, let's see if we can pound it.
Yeah, see who's gonna win that battle. And you're right, that was a great block on the outside by McGowan, freeing up Moore to get another 10, 15 yards. So 1st and 10 for Wilson. They're going to give it back to Clark. He looks to the left side. Got a little seam, breaks the tackle, still going on the outside. Going to pick up the first down and more. Once again, feel like a broken record. Arnold on the stop, but again, another big chunk play, 15 yards for Wilson.
And a great stiff arm to get away from that. You know, as a coach, you want to make sure you guys switch the ball to the sideline, and not so much to protect the ball, but so they can defend themselves, so you can stiff arm. And that was a great job by Brennan Clark, stiff arm and a high step to get away from that tackle.
How hard is it to bring down a 6'5" running back when he sticks that long arm out in front of you?
There's no question. You can't coach length, and it's tough to get to the legs if he's got that arm out there.
So another first down for Wilson. It's going to be 1st and 10 from their 34-yard line. Going to be a inside handoff This one well defended by Eastridge. That was number 23, Dante McGowan, on the play, and he's going to pick up about 2 yards.
That was a great job staying at home because everybody else was flowing for the outside zone this side and the backside corner. I believe that might have been Sharon Davis, the quarterback, that might have made that tackle if I'm not mistaken. But they stayed home on the counter, so I'm sure they've been working on that all week in practice.
Yeah, that's good discipline, but you know, when they have that misdirection like that with speed, that's a great job of staying home and making that tackle.
Full house back there. Onto the old Wishbone.
And we hand off Clark again up the middle. Going to get close to that first down.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't imagine them getting away from it right now. Every time Clark touches the ball, he's not getting touched for 4 yards. They're getting a great push up front. It'll be interesting to see how Eastridge responds if they start stacking the box a little bit more and walking up their safety to get 8 or 9 guys in the box, especially if they're going to stay in this wishbone.
Yeah, if you're Wilson, why go away from it? Everything is it's working so far. So Jackson's going to take the ball 3rd and 3 here, and this time he's going to give it to the up back, Dante McGowan, who's going to power ahead for another first down.
Yeah, this is the part as a coach, we say we got to stack it, we got to stack it. And, you know, now this is that chess match that I love as a coach. You know, so Wilson says, you know what, watch, we'll stack it, and then we'll have a bootleg or a play action on the left hash.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Wilson, trailing 7-0 early in this game, hit midway through the first quarter. It's going to be a handoff to Moore, who slips a little bit, and he's a little upset, but he's going to be brought down after getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Kelvin Young for Eastridge set the edge there, took on a block from Brennan Clark. He didn't make the play, but he really made the play because he set the edge and forced him to cut earlier than he wanted, which caused him to slip.
We backed up to 2nd and 11 for Wilson. They've settled down a little bit on offense after that tough start to the game, and you know, getting some of the nerves out of the way and getting back to playing their offense here.
No question about it, and it's interesting right now. I see them shuffling in and out different D tackles for Eastridge, and I think they're just trying to stop this push that Wilson's getting up front. They're led by number 53 for them, Kobe Boston. He's only 5'8", but it's 275 pounds of 5'8", so he sits low.
This time Jackson's going to be chased outside the pocket, and he's going to try to pick up a few yards for Wilson, and he does. He's going to scoot down to, looks like about the 21-yard line. Let's see where they spot the ball here, about the 21. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 8 or 9 for Wilson with 5 minutes to go in this opening quarter of play.
That was defended well by Eastridge. I like the call by Wilson running a play action. They defended it well because there was nobody covered, which forced them to have to, Sam Jackson have to scramble.
So Jackson in the gun for 3rd down. He drops back to pass, fires it over the big target there, and what a catch!
Wow.
By Brennan Clark. A one-handed grab.
That's a big time play. You know, we talked about that matchup. There's a flag down, but I'm sure it's defensive holding. That is textbook. They coach that at the college level, that when they grab your arm to try to catch it one hand. That was unbelievable.
Being torn down as we take another look, being grabbed to the ground and manages to stick that paw out there and bring it in. What a play by Clark.
I'm a bet man, but I got to bet that that might be a Varsity Media top 10 play.
I'm pretty sure that's in the running so far. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that play, too. A little fade to the corner for Clark. I mean, you talked about it in the opener. That size is such a mismatch, and, you know, he's also very athletic, so he can go up and get it.
Yeah, I mean, they were just trying to defend it, and all they could do is grab one hand, and the odds are better, you think, when the receivers only got one hand, but not with a player at the likes of Brennan Clark.
I like where your head's at, though. That's definitely a top 10 play nominee of the week. Looks like we're going to have a timeout by Eastridge as they're going to try to regroup after Wilson has done a great job responding, marching back down the field. So with that in mind, we are going to take a short break and come right back. You are watching Section 5 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network. All right, welcome back to Eastridge High School. We're here for this week's Varsity Media Game of the Week between 4-0 Wilson and 4-0 Eastridge. And after a quick start by the Lancers, Wilson has really settled down and responded, and all of a sudden they have first and goal from the 3-yard line.
Yeah, and I think that timeout by Eastridge is not so much from a personal or X and O standpoint. It's more about settling your guys down. We're all right. Let's stop them. Yeah, they got the ball at the 3, but we're okay. Don't get caught up in the hype. It's a long game, and, stuff the middle and expect them to come out with wishbone, and that's exactly what they are right now.
Yeah, bunched up with 3 running backs behind Jackson on first and goal. He's going to hand it off to Clark right up the middle, rewarding the big fella, and he gets Wilson on the scoreboard straight ahead. 3-yard touchdown run for Brendan Clark.
Yeah, the push up front right now by Wilson is taking charge. Again, I don't think Clark got touched for the first 2 yards till he got to the goal line there.
Yeah, got to give the offensive line a lot of credit. They are getting a nice push, and as we take a look at the replay, Clark able to just go straight ahead and in for 6.
And here's where we go to that 2-point game. The odd that they say the numbers go with the 2-point. If you don't get it, if you're 50-50, you're still on the same page. But I expect the ball to go to the right. They usually go to the right.
And they hand it off to Moore. They do go right. He tries to extend, and he does. So he gets in for 2. So that will be interesting to see how the not kicking extra points works out today. This could be one of those games where every point matters, and that could be a deciding factor today.
No question about it. And it'll be interesting to see how they defend in the future. Most of their 2-point sets are that offset power to the right, and they're either booting it, sprinting out, or running that off-tackle power look. So I agree. Every point's going to matter. It's a fast pace, and we're moving. They slowed it down a little bit, and they settled down. Now we'll see how Eastridge responds with their return team.
Yeah, great job responding by this Wilson Wildcats team. A lot of teams, if you start like that and you turn the ball over on the first play of the game, they can have a tendency to put their heads down a little bit and kind of look at it as an uphill battle. But no panic by Wilson. They have a lot of seniors on this team, a lot of senior leadership, especially at their captains and their skill position. So it was a great job responding by Wilson.
And senior leadership, you can't stress that enough. There's no blueprint to success, and you got to follow your seniors. And they set the tone with the leadership, and the guys are following them right now.
So Jackson kicks the ball off for Wilson. It's going to be fielded at the 14-yard line by Brantley. Bobbled it a little bit, picks it back up. And initially bottled up, and he squirts free, and he's going to pick up a bunch more yards. He's still on his feet, but we got laundry down everywhere as he is still going all the way to midfield. But I have a feeling this one might be coming back.
Yeah, you're definitely going to get at least a block in the back here on the I don't know if the last one, if it was he was about to call a horse collar. But I know in the kick return game, nothing drives a special team coach more than when you don't catch the ball in the air. If you don't catch the ball in the air, you lose on average 10 to 15 yards of separation from the kickoff team, which made a difference. He had to make some moves before he could get space where if he catch in the air, he's going to go 10, 15 yards before he even gets any pressure.
Yeah, we've seen all 3 kickoffs today hit the turf and bounce around a little bit, and it's hard to pick up sometimes. And then, like you said, you lose momentum, and you have a hard time kind of getting things going. As we get the first flag is going to be a block in the back on Eastridge, and the second one is going to be an offsetting call against Wilson for a face mask or possibly a horse collar. So I believe they're going to re-kick this.
They should be re-kicking it because it's not going to. Yeah, I couldn't tell down there if it was a face mask or what it was going to be.
Looks like they're still discussing.
Unless he's going to walk it off and walk it. That doesn't make any sense if it was.
Well, they're gonna give Eastridge the ball in midfield. So, interesting outcome of that call, but
I'm wondering if maybe it ended up being a push in the back by them and they declined. I don't know. I'll have to watch the replay.
Not really sure. I could understand if they were both after the play was over. But either way, Eastridge is going to start off 1st and 10 from their 50. Quick swing pass out to Brantley, who's bottled up quickly by the cornerbacks from Wilson. Good job there, wrapping up the speedy Brantley right away.
Yeah, nice now screen there, and I won't be surprised later in the game you see that fake, and then you're going to see a vertical after they fake to Brantley on that.
We've seen that a few times with, they kind of lull you in with those plays, and then a quick up fake, and more times than not, it's been Jalen Hanna a few times, Brantley a few times, has been wide open as a result of that. So it's going to be 2nd and 8 from the 48-yard line for the Lancers. It's going to be Brantley with the ball again, and he's going to pick up enough for the first down. A nice pickup. That was Jalen Hanna. It's going to be all the way down to the 39-yard line. First time we've called his name tonight.
A nice run. Jalen Hanna, he came to our showcase in December. He's another athlete that can make plays. It was a great play. They sealed the edge in the outside zone. And a lot of teams sometimes you ask, why do you run it to the short side of the field? Well, some teams don't stack the box or stack the edge to the short side, so the numbers are in your advantage.
Going to have a pre-snap penalty here. Looks like it's going against Eastridge. Oh, it's going to go against Wilson.
Yeah, I think lined up on the far side, offside. Number 10, I think Brandon White might have been lined up offside. Those are one of the things, if it's on the short side of the field, maybe the official tells him just back up a little bit, son. But he's so far out there, maybe they're saying that to him and he can't hear him, but he was about a yard lined up offside.
So a free 5 yards for Eastridge as Davis takes the snap and directly goes outside. He's going to pick up another first down with a nice pickup of about 6 yards for the Lancers.
Yeah, they had the numbers lined up. I was surprised how they lined to that. It was a quad set to that side, and they just blocked down, and who else to lead them but Austin Schaefer on the edge. And you got 315 pounds in front of you as a corner trying to get around them and make a play.
Yeah, got to like big number 74 leading the way for you if you're Davis, as we get a quick handoff here back to Torres, and he's going to pick up about 4 yards on first down. This Eastridge team, just as we saw Hanna, we've seen Davis run for it, now we see Torres and Brantley just have so many weapons. They got to keep you guessing on defense.
Definitely, and it's like a three-headed monster. They're different types of backs, and it's tough to defend that. But I love the flying to the ball by Wilson. They're getting to the ball, but unfortunately they're getting after about 4 or 5 yards down the field.
That was enough for a first down, so it's going to be 1st and 10 for Eastridge, and this time Davis keeps it himself. Off to the left side, he's going to get around the corner, and even just a play like that where it looks like you have him bottled up, he's still going to end up picking up about 7 yards.
And Jakir Moore, great unselfish play. As a running back, sometimes you don't see the guys block as well. But that was a great job sealing the edge to allow Sam Jackson to get around the edge. Here we go with a no huddle.
Eastridge going with some tempo here. Snap to Davis. Is going to hand off to Torres. Bulls his way ahead. Still going. That second boner is going to be enough for the first down as he gets down to the 10-yard line. And you like the motor on this kid. He just keeps going.
Yeah, and I like the idea of going tempo there to catch him off guard. And, they use the clap for the cadence, and some people ask why you do that. When you get into bigger games, and they do it all the time anyways, but it's actually easier to hear that than a cadence. And now they don't have to look into the ball, the receivers, because they're going to hear the clap sooner.
So as you heard the PA announcer say, it's going to be first down for the Lancers after the penalty. Not quite sure what that was, but it's going to result in a 1st and goal from just outside the 5-yard line for Eastridge, with a chance to respond with 2:27 to go here in the opening quarter of play from Eastridge High School. Sharon Davis takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. right up the middle, busts his way into the end zone. Sharon Davis gives Eastridge the lead right back.
That is such a tough play to defend. You send your back on what we call Oregon motion out of the backfield, and now the QB has basically got an RPO, which he's going to decide based on if that linebacker flies out with him, he's not going to throw it. He's going to keep it and run a quarterback trap or CT. If the linebacker doesn't fly out, he's going to throw it to him. So you've got 2 plays, and you've got to decide how you're going to defend that.
Just certainly keeps you guessing on defenses. This time it's Davis with the keeper. He puts Eastridge up 13-8. Extra point attempt by number 99, Muthana, is good. So Eastridge goes ahead 14-8. And here we go, Coach. This is kind of the game we expected, back and forth. Both offenses making plays, and I think we're looking at a pretty high-scoring affair today.
For sure, and I like the fact that Coach Jobson just does what he does, and we're kicking extra points. We are not chasing 2-point plays. We'll worry about those extra points when it matters near the end of the game, especially if you're a team that doesn't run plays for 2 points. Just do what we do, and we'll worry about that later. So now this will be interesting, the kick return for Wilson. Do they set it up differently and put 2 guys back there so they can't kick away?
Yeah, they might be doing just that. They're back there talking about, he got Jakir Moore back, and currently he's being joined by number 21, Jalen Jordan, but he looks like he's going to come back up. But I would think based on the opening first couple kickoffs that maybe they'll take a few steps forward, expect a slightly shorter kick, but like you were talking about before, got to catch the ball in the air.
For sure. And you got playmakers and you want your tailback to get it, but I know from a special team standpoint, Eastridge right now is planning on kicking it to a certain spot, and they don't plan on kicking it directly him. If it happens, it's definitely not intentional.
Yeah, I think I would probably kick away from him as well. We mentioned in the broadcast earlier on that these 2 teams, 2 of the highest scoring teams in Section 5, coming into today, Eastridge averaging 31 points a game and Wilson 41. But also their defenses are pretty good too. Wilson only giving up 15 points per game so far this year, and Eastridge almost as good at 15.8.
Yeah, it's amazing, and that's the unique thing about football is you can be so great on one side and maybe not as strong, but both these teams are strong on both sides of the ball.
So the kickoff from Eastridge, this one's going to be bouncing around again and again through the legs of Wilson, who decides to just jump on it, which is probably a good decision based on what's happened so far. That was Jalen Jordan and also number 2, Sam Jackson, falling on that one.
Yeah, definitely a great decision there. You're not in a bad spot. You're on the 30-yard line, and I like what Eastridge is doing is kick it hard on the turf and keep it on the ground. Don't allow them to get back there. It also gives your kickoff team more time to get down. So I'm going to be interested to see if Wilson comes right out with that smash mouth again, or at least that probably a 2-back set. But no, here we go. This will be interesting. They're going to put Mr. Clark out there wide out.
So he's going to wide out. They're going to be in the pistol, and now Moore moves to the right of Jackson, who's calling for the ball. As Clark comes in motion, he's going to fake the handoff to Clark and give it to Moore, who's tackled in the backfield. Nice job off the corner. To see the number, hard to see from our angle. We do have a flag on the play as well.
I think that might have been Darnell Sutton, Joel. I couldn't tell. It's tough to see, but, man, he played that well. You're selling jet sweep this way, and you run outside zone the other way. I got to believe it's holding. It's going to be from the spot.
They're marching back 15 yards, I think. It was a 15-yard penalty, possibly a block in the back. I thought they signaled.
It must have been a block in the back.
So either way, it's going to be a 1st and 25 for the Wildcats as Jackson keeps it himself. He's off to the left side. He's going to pick up a few of those yards back, about 5 yards on first down.
Yeah, sometimes that's a tendency to happen when you get a flow of the defense going one way and now they turn back around and the kid wants to just hit him right away. He doesn't wait till he sees the numbers from the front and gets a block in the back.
That's a tough penalty to be backed up right away, 15 yards. You're trying to script a play for 1st and 25 as opposed to 1st and 10, and you just want to get a little bit of that back on 1st and 2nd down, I'm sure.
Yeah, and, early in the game, coaches have their script and what they're planning on doing, so you try not to get off it. And when you get in this situation, it's tough not to get off it.
So 2nd down and 21 for Wilson, who's brought down, and we got another flag. This might be a face mask, as he was brought down in the backfield by number 75, Rivera, and also by Matthew Brantley, number 25, but we're going to wait on the penalty, and this might give 15 of those yards right back to Wilson. Eastridge looks a little upset about it, so I'm going to assume that's what this penalty is going to be.
Yeah, it's a big penalty because they were there. They swarmed to the ball. They played the cutback well. Penalties, he talked about it. Coach Jobson talked about it, more from an offense standpoint, but defensive standpoint. You got to be disciplined, and it's tough. You're aggressive. You're flying to the ball, and you're trying to arrive in a bad attitude, but you got to be smart and make sure to not put your hands around the face mask.
Yeah, good play on defense. Unfortunate to get the penalty, but if you're Coach Jobson, you got to like the pressure they're getting on Wilson from this defensive front. No
question about it. It's tough as a coach. You just make a great stop. They don't get many yards. It would have been 3rd and long, and unfortunately now in their position to have only 4 yards to go to get a first.
So not an automatic first down. It's going to be 2nd down and 4 for Wilson, who gives the ball to Clark. Over to the left side. Nice stiff arm again, and he gets out of bounds after picking up the first down, but there is that lethal stiff arm by Brennan Clark.
Well, he just stiffed arm. I think it was Sam Jackson at 5'11", and he wasn't within arm's length of him, right?
Yeah, some long arms. It's going to be enough for the first down for Wilson. Back on offense. Moved the ball very well in their first opening drive. As we approach the end of the first quarter of play, 1:39 to go in the first. Eastridge leading Wilson 14-8 here on a nice sunny day at Eastridge High School as Jackson takes the snap and pitches it back to Moore. He's got a wall of blockers on the outside. And all things considered, that was a great job getting through the blockers by by Jalen Hanna to actually bring him down. It looked like he could have been running for a while.
Joel, 100% with you, because they had the edge and he fought through both of those blockers. Sacrificed himself to get through that was a heck of a play because he definitely had the edge and was going to the end zone.
Yeah, Jalen Hanna, not the biggest guys at 5'10", 171, but he was able to get through 3 blockers there and limit that gain to 8 yards when it could have been a lot more.
It's a big play. Be interested to see now if they start going field side defensive ends here, if they keep trying to get outside on them.
Going to be 2nd down and 2 for Wilson, who gives it to the up back. It's Dante McGowan, pushes ahead. He's going to have enough for the first down as he approaches midfield. Still a little pushing back and forth, but another first down for Wilson. Another good-looking drive.
Yeah, that was a nice play. They do that offset power, and most of the percentages say they're going to go to the power side, and they go the backside for the short yardage, and that's going to keep them honest down the road when it's, even a bigger play than just late in the first quarter.
So used to seeing these two teams breaking off those big plays, but I think a lot of it has to do with the speed when they're matching up with other teams. Now it's speed on speed, so maybe we might not see some of those big plays today?
Sure, and as a coach, when you watch film, if you don't see them in person, you kind of know they're fast, but I'm telling you, sitting here and seeing them in front, it's unbelievable how fast they are in person on both sides. And you're right, it's speed on speed, and they're playing great technique. They're playing the cutback well, which is not giving up some of those big plays against some of these other teams you would see.
Well, we have a timeout on the field, and that gives us a chance to look at some of today's Prospect New York watch list players. We're going to take a look at the watch list. Here are some key players to watch tonight that we might see at the collegiate level. Prospect New York State is New York's leader when it comes to spotlighting high school football prospects in our state. Stay tuned for information about their 2020 Power 100 Showcase event happening in April. Now for Eastridge, we've talked about these guys a lot so far. We have Noah Bowens, linebacker, and Jalen Hanna, wide receiver. We have Sharon Davis, quarterback for Eastridge, Austin Schaefer, and Ruben Torres. It's a good handful of players to spotlight for today, don't you think?
There's no question, and Mark Vitacor with Prospect New York State, he knows his stuff, and those are some top names for sure, and we knew we would see some playmakers here. And it's interesting, as we're talking about those guys, I was looking and I didn't understand why they called timeout with 12 seconds left. The play clock wasn't into play. But now Coach Jobson, as you can see, is meeting with the head official, Ray Richardson, right now, discussing. According to Ray, that was quarter. But now, according to Coach Jobson, there may be a timeout issue. So I'm not sure if one of the teams lost a timeout because of that. But Coach Jobson is definitely fired up.
Yeah, he is not too happy about this, and we see the clock now at 12 minutes, so I think you're right. I think he was looking for the timeout. It was the end of the quarter, maybe a little confusion. But either way, it looks like it's going to be the start of the second quarter. Well, we have a chance to take a quick break. This has been an entertaining first quarter of play here from Eastridge High School. It's Eastridge 14, Wilson 8. We'll be back in just a minute. You're watching Section 5 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Interested in sponsoring a live stream broadcast? Varsity Media streams offer tremendous visibility for your business. Contact us today at 866-577-1950 for rates and packages.
All right, welcome back to Eastridge High School as they're still trying to sort through what happened down on the field. We know that it's going to be the start of the second quarter here from Erna Frank Field on homecoming at Eastridge, with the home team Lancers leading 14-8 in a pretty entertaining first quarter of play, which is kind of what we thought.
Yeah, definitely exciting. A lot of chess match starting to go on, and it'll be interesting to see if both teams continue to kind of pack it in a little bit, with Eastridge running a little bit of double wing or hybrid of it, and Wilson running some gun sets with only one receiver split, or running the wishbone.
Wilson has had a lot of success running the ball today, as we expected, as they hand it off to Moore, who's got a big hole to the right. Stutter steps, going to have a flag down. Might be a hold on the play, but he had a huge lane on the right side of the field as he picks up about 15.
That lead block was unbelievable, and I couldn't tell if that was led by Brennan Clark or the pulling guard from this angle. But a little bit farther down the field was a hold.
Yeah, one of the things I've been really impressed with today is both of these teams, the running backs, the wide receivers on these running plays and quick screens, they're all downfield blocking.
It's unbelievable. Not only their skill level, and usually from a small skill you talk about playmakers, but they're unselfishly taking care of the rest of their teammates by blocking downfield. And you can tell that's a perfect example of coaching. They're being coached to do it, and they are doing a great job blocking downfield.
So this is going to bring up, with the penalty, a 1st and 11 for Wilson. And Jackson, with the cadence, drew Eastridge offside, so they're going to get 5 of that back. So a couple penalties back and forth.
And it was interesting. I was talking about the clap cadence. The part I didn't get to mention is exactly what just happened there. The other team, it's so much easier to jump off sides when you see a physical movement on a snap, which is the clap, and so much easier to get them to jump, which they did.
Sure. So on 1st down still, Moore gets the handoff. He's going to pick up the 1st down as he makes his way to the right side, still going. And he is going to pick up about 10 yards on the play. And it's going to be 1st and 10, Wilson on the 36-yard line.
And that clap wasn't just about getting them offside for 5 yards. It actually forces the DNs and the D tackles to kind of sit on their heels a little bit and watch the ball now a little bit longer, which that was a perfect example. They didn't get a pressure as much as they had been against the run, and they were able to get around the edge pretty quickly.
You know, I know Coach Jobson mentioned this last week, or Coach Mortier, his defense sometimes his speed actually goes against him where they overcommit sometimes, and you kind of wonder if they're trying to get off the ball so quickly that you try to get a head start sometimes.
Right. Great job by Eastridge swarming to the ball.
You got a handful of Eastridge linemen wrapping up more in the backfield, so that's going to be a loss of 2 for Wilson. Going to bring up 2nd and 12.
Yeah, when Najee McDowell in there at 6'4", 325 pounds, right up front, going to be tough to run right at him.
This offensive line, defensive line for Eastridge, they're almost college size. As you see some of the numbers, it's amazing.
I would love to just we got some great kids up front, but to have the size of 280 pounds or more, and they're averaging that. It's not just one kid.
Yeah, all across. There's a nice tackle there by Davis to bring down the speedy Clark. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8 for Wilson. Nice open field tackle by Sharon Davis.
Great tackle. And, back to those lines, it's not just because they're big kids with great feet that can move.
I love one thing you see in this game today is some of the marquee players for both sides. They're not only doing it on one side of the ball, they're doing it on offense and defense.
Yeah, a lot of guys going both ways, and that's why, it's like you're watching a fast-paced basketball game on turf right here. You got to have a short-term memory because you're quickly going to be on the other side.
Looks like we're going to have a timeout, this time called by Wilson, their 2nd of the opening half.
Yeah, Coach Mortier didn't look happy there, and I don't know if they came out in the wrong formation or what he's trying to do. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I got to believe sooner than later they're going to go back to getting Brennan Clark out in space and throw the ball up, or at least put him out there and use him as a decoy to get an extra guy out of the box.
Absolutely, yeah. Use his size, use his speed, and we got a chance. We have a few minutes here. We'd like to take a chance to talk about New York State Elite Athletics. You are the owner and have been involved. Can you talk about some of the things that your organization provides for these football athletes?
Yeah, I just wanted to try to help New York State football get better from the youth all the way up to the high school age. So we run Finger Lakes Youth Camp in the summer, as well as this year we started a Rochester Youth Camp in the summer here. And what I like to do is, the beauty of football is such a fraternity, bringing high school coaches from different programs together, and college. And this year we brought some of the players that have played in high school around here that have gone on to the NFL or currently in the NFL to kind of give back a little bit. Mm-hmm. So that's some of the stuff we've done in the summer.
We'll have a chance to talk a little bit more after this play. It's going to be 3rd down, big 3rd down for Wilson. As Jackson drops back to pass, he's got a man open and a nice catch, and he's going to get in to the end zone. So a great feed by Sam Jackson. Trying to see a number out there.
Yeah, I can't see if it's Ramir.
Looks like Ramir Wade made that play, and just like that, Wilson has answered, and they jump back in the lead.
Great play call coming out of there. You've been running the outside zone and the sweep. It's been tough to stop, and now they get a one-on-one matchup out there. And here we go with a 2-point conversion.
See the replay. Nice pitch and catch. Great job by Wade hauling that one in and keeping going for the score. As actually they are stopped on the 2-point try, so we are all knotted up at 14.
Big stop on a 2-point play. Big stop.
Take one more look at this touchdown pass. A nice strike from Jackson as he goes out of the play fake, and you got Wade streaking all by himself. A nice throw and an even better catch as he just kept momentum going into the end zone. But just like that, Wilson responds and ties this game up with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter of play.
Yeah, and the way they've been running the ball, Tony Arnold, who's the leader with 4 interceptions for Eastridge safety, he started creeping up on that play fake, and that's what you hope to get that play. So Coach Mortier, it was a great time to call a timeout. He knew what he wanted, and that was a big play.
Yeah, you talked about it earlier. You knew at some point one of these teams is going to take that shot down the field after these quick plays, and they bit on the play action, on the handoff and on the play fake, and they went down the field and wide open. Nice catch. And just like that, 14-14.
Well, we'll see if Eastridge can catch the ball in the air here. They didn't catch it last time and gave up about 10 yards, but now they look like they're spread out a little bit more. I'd like to see Jalen Hanna move up to probably the 15 because I don't expect it's going to get back to the 10.
Yeah, they've been kicking it short as they do again, and it actually goes off an Eastridge player. Ball is down, and Eastridge comes away with it. That was almost a recovery for Wilson. Number 17, Angel Arbelias, had a chance at that one, but Eastridge with the heads-up play is going to get good field position out of it. But that was a close play.
It really is, and as coaches, we talk to the front line and about not being square, turn on an angle so you're not as big as the object if an onside kick or something like that comes directly at you. And he was squared up, and it gave him a bigger target to hit. They got lucky.
It's going to be a handoff to Torres, who goes up the middle for about 5 yards.
Brandon White, high tackle, but he held on. Nice, strong, staying with it.
And here's some more of that up-tempo pace from Eastridge that seemed to work before. Davis gets the snap. He's going to quick to the outside. Going to step out of bounds. That was number 1, Tony Arnold. He's going to pick up the first down.
And that was the RPO right there. You had Austin Schaefer pulling to the left, and he had Sharon Davis just reading the matchup, so he knew he had him 7 yards off. He was throwing that curl all day.
Davis is going to have Torres to the left of him. Going to hand off to Torres. Picks another hole. He's going to get about 3 yards on first down. Wrapped up by Clark and Brandon White for this Wilson team.
Now this is the tough part, the new 40-second play clock. You don't have to wait for a whistle to start to play. It's a matter of the ref sets the ball and you can go. So Wilson's trying to sprint subs in at the same time. It's a challenge.
Hand off to Torres again up the middle, but he's stood up by big number 55. It's going to be Sherrod Watkins again, and Coach Jobson was worried about him coming into this one, as he talked about.
Yeah, he doesn't make that play. There was nobody back there on a cutback. He got off a block and made a great play there. Only a sophomore. He's going to be someone to watch. I can guarantee Coach Vidikar is already aware of him.
Yes, for sure. As we get Hanna on the sweep to the left, he is going to pick up the first down and about 6 yards more. Surprising we haven't seen Jalen Hanna or heard his name too much so far, but I'm sure they'll look to get him involved moving forward as well.
Yeah, I agree, and that was a great job by Eastridge. I'm not sure the number was leading out there, and he would have easily got a block in the back, and he just trusted his teammate to get around the edge on his own.
So a pickup of about 9 on the play for Hanna as it's first down for Eastridge. Fake the handoff to Torres. Davis going to keep himself. Gets to the sticks and then stood up by number 7, Ernest Thomas, but that's going to be close. It looks like he might have enough for a first down, and then we got some after the play pushing and shoving going on and a couple flags down.
Yeah, a little extracurricular activity there. I think it's based on Wilson's reactions, I got to believe, but I don't know. I see Eastridge walking back, so I don't know if he'll be offsetting. The officials in a big game like this, you want to kind of set the tone early. But it looks like the way they're going to walk it off against Wilson. Maybe a push or a shove or...
Yeah, the body language of the Wilson players seems to say it was on them, but actually it might be against Eastridge or offsetting possible. No, that's back to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, and I don't understand. Ray Richard looked like he was talking to Coach Jobson and he's swatting the ball, but to me, that would be a 15-yard unless it's a delay a game 5-yard.
Yeah, it's tough to tell from up here. We've had a couple of those where we weren't completely sure of what happened, but play is going to continue with a handoff to Torres. who gets down to about the 26-yard line, and a good pickup on first down of 8 for Eastridge.
And there's that Oregon motion, and Sharon's going to read it. If that linebacker's going to run out, he's going to hand it off. And it'll be interesting to see if Wilson responds by walking that safety up to cover the Oregon so they can keep the same guys in the box and defend both things.
So second down and about 3, it looks like, for Eastridge.
Here's the Oregon motion again.
There's that motion. Davis is going to keep it himself, going to pick up the first down, going to be dragged down to about the 18-yard line, but just used his speed right there to go right up the middle to pick up the first down.
Yeah, it's a matter of picking your poison for Wilson. You have to respect the Oregon motion because otherwise they're going to have 3-on-2. And so now they're walking the safety up here to the trip side.
This time Torres is going to get the ball to the right side, and a good open field tackle that time by number 8, Ramir Wade.
That was one heck of a play. He flew up, set the edge, kept his eyes up, and made a great tackle because he was the only one out there because they had the guys coming around, but here we go. Eastridge doesn't give them time to celebrate. We're going to go no huddle right away.
They are right up to the line, ready to go. Davis takes a snap, play action. He's going to look deep. He's got a man open in the end zone. That is number 1, Tony Arnold, for a nice, easy pitch and catch for Eastridge, and they jump back into the lead.
Two things that I loved out of that. One, first of all, the fact of seeing number 1, Tony Arnold, and number 8, Ramin Wade for Wilson. They actually high-fived each other, so the natural respect. And there's too much times nowadays that you talk about young kids that don't respect each other, and that's a class act. But on the other side, from an X and O standpoint, he just makes a great tackle. He's hyped up. He's trying to get his crowd. Boom, they go no huddle, and they say, let's go right back at him because he's worried about that play.
They do not give you a lot of time at all to get ready, as the kick is up and barely in, but it goes in for Eastridge, who goes up 21-14. So a good response there by Eastridge. And we are going to take a quick break and catch our breath as well. You are watching Section 5 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
What kind of athlete is the most recruitable athlete in the world? It isn't just talent. It's not. It's the intangibles. How coachable are you? What kind of teammate are you? We brought you here because we see those intangibles in you.
The coaching has been great, the organization has been great, competition has been the best part too.
I have one offer, and that's from Army West Point.
And here with competing with the best in New York State and showcasing my talents. It's a great experience.
1, 2, 3, brothers!
All right, welcome back to Eastridge High School. We have an entertaining game today, 21-14, Eastridge over Wilson. Midway through the second quarter, we have a lot of football left to play, but this has been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, I've got a chair up here, but I haven't sat down yet. It's exhausting, but a fun exhausting. Great stuff.
Eastridge kicks off short again, this time picked up cleanly by Wilson, who is wrapped up, and then he bounces back outside. Breaking tackles is number 21, Jalen Jordan, and he gets all the way down into Eastridge territory to the 45-yard line. So that was a much better return for Wilson.
Great job being aware of where the ball is, and unbelievable effort by Jalen to just keep his legs pumping and going.
So good starting field position for the Wildcats. When you look at these teams, these two offenses, neither team really needs the advantage of good field position because they can move it in a hurry, but they've had a few good starting field positions tonight so far.
For sure, I agree.
This will be the best field position so far for Wilson as they start off in Eastridge territory at the 45. Jackson in the gun, who's going to hand off to Moore. Scoots to the right side, bounces off a tackle, and gets about 4 yards. It's amazing, even these plays where it looks like these running backs on both sides of the ball are wrapped up, they still seem to get positive yardage and pick up 4 or 5 yards.
Well, and at the same point, it's amazing how fast these defenses are at Eastridge. Against most of the teams we see on film that they've played so far, no disrespect, I mean, they just don't have the team speed that these teams have.
Right.
You have 1 or 2 kids with that speed, but usually they're getting around the edge and they're gone for more than 5 or 6 yards.
One thing I can say after watching a quarter, half, and a play is I'm glad I'm not a defensive coordinator for either of these teams.
No question about it. It's nightmares all week trying to prepare for either one of these teams.
I'm sure, but there's a great job by the Eastridge defense stopping Moore at the line of scrimmage for no gain. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 for Wilson as we approach 5 minutes to go here in the opening half of play. Eastridge currently on top 21-14. As we get a chance to take a look at the crowd, a nice full house here at Eastridge High School, and even more outside over by the high school. This is what homecoming's all about.
Awesome. It literally is like playoff atmosphere here. Now this will be interesting. I gotta believe they're gonna try some type of boot or put on the edge, or they're gonna get Clark the ball here.
And they instead hand to Moore, who's got a seam, and he's got open space, almost loses the ball. It's a battle with him and Jalen Hanna, and he holds on to it somehow, picks up a first down all the way down to the 22-yard line.
And I tell you, Eastridge had to be thinking the same thing. They rotated a couple D tackles in that are a little bit smaller. I think they expected something to go around the edge as far as pass, and great run and a great job by Jakir Moore, realizing, I can't get any more yards. I'm not going to get this ball ripped out. I'm just going to try to go down.
Yeah, great job with ball security holding on. Jalen Hanna was all over that football. Both these defenses are very opportunistic when it comes to takeaways. As this time Jackson's going to keep it, and he is going to get bottled up by about 6 Eastridge defenders, and they're still going. There goes the whistle. They're going to let go of him, but just a great job by that right side of that Eastridge defense, bottling up Sam Jackson.
Great team defensive pursuit by Eastridge. As coaches, we always say the measure of your effort on defense is when we freeze the frame at the end of a play, how many guys are in that picture frame, and you want at least 6 to 7 guys in that picture frame. I think Coach Jobson would be very happy if he froze that he would see 11 guys in that picture frame because they all went after the ball.
Yeah, that was what you want to see if you're a head coach, especially with 5 or 6 guys trying to tackle, which is sometimes what it takes for some of these ball carriers. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 15 for Wilson with the loss on the play, and we're going to have a flag that looked like motion on Wilson. Going to be backed up another 5 yards.
Yeah, Coach Mortier's not happy. Brennan Clark and both DeJean Grumedy, both of them were going motion. I'm not sure they knew which one was supposed to, but I know Eastridge they looked all confused defensively on who was going to cover, and that's why the outside backers and corners just came over to the coach on the side based on this alignment. So here's going to be the matchup here.
So it's going to be 2nd and 20 for Wilson as Jackson's going to keep it, and he's going to pick up the yardage lost on the first 2 plays as he gets down and then a little bit more. It's going to set up a 3rd and much more manageable distance to go here. 3rd and about 9 or so from the 22-yard line.
And Wilson doesn't have a kicker, so this is 4-down territory. So they don't have to get all 10 yards back on this play, which gives you a little bit more comfortable play calling to make a play here. And last time they had Brennan Clark out there, they used him as a decoy with the jet sweep, but I got to believe he's getting the ball here.
This time Jackson drops back to pass. He floats one up. That's a dangerous ball in and out of the hands of DeJean Grumedy. Well defended by Eastridge, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
That was great defense. It looked like over on the top right you could see Brennan Clark had him beat. So it'll be interesting to see if I got to believe they're throwing the ball here and probably going the same concept, but got to be looking Clark's way.
Yeah, I would be looking that matchup a lot. I mean, as you mentioned, he's got about 7 inches or so difference on Hanna, who's done a pretty good job in coverage with him so far.
And Eastridge right now doesn't like that formation. I got to believe with with Tony Arnold Jr., the free safety who leads the team in interceptions. On the snap, he's going to be flying over there over the top. It looks like cover 3, but they may be playing a soft man and having him play over the top as a cover 1.
So it's going to bring up a big 4th down in this game as we approach. We have 2 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the opening half of play. It's Eastridge 21, Wilson 14. And, Coach, we want to go back to your company, New York State Elite Athletics, and give you a chance to talk a little bit more about, the programs that you offer for these players.
Sure, and we talked about those youth camps in the summer. We also run 2 sessions in March, which is Skills and Deals camp from every position. We bring college coaches in. And the beauty of that, we run the 1 session that's 3rd graders to 7th graders, which we have high school coaches and college coaches. But then when we bring them in for the 8th through 11th grade, all that information I give to the college coaches of each player, so that way they start to build that recruiting process a little bit better. And there's nothing better than a high school kid getting coached up by a college coach. And the culmination of everything at this point is our New York State Elite Athletics Showcase that we held last year. Had over 120 plus young men from all the way from Albany all the way to Buffalo, and we can talk about that a little bit later as far as the date coming up in December.
Absolutely. Right now we get back to play, and it's 4th down for Wilson as Jackson drops back to pass. He's looking for Clark, and they're going to get pass interference on that play on Jalen Hanna as Tony Arnold came from his free safety position, nearly picked that one off, but I think they're going to get Hanna for the pass interference call, which would be a huge break for Wilson.
Well, it'll be interesting because we talked about that. We talked about Tony Arnold Jr. coming over the top, but Tony actually ended up tipping it, but I think the flag was already thrown.
Yeah.
Because if he tips it, then it can't be pass interference. But I think the flag was already thrown, and that's unfortunate because he had him defended well, and the ball was short.
Yeah, it was underthrown a little bit. It's been a great matchup to watch on the outside is Hanna versus Clark and size versus speed, and he's held up pretty well. And that one he just maybe got a little too handsy, and it's going to result in a 1st down, depending on the spot for Wilson. It is going to be a 1st down. So big penalty with 2 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the second quarter of play with Wilson trailing by a touchdown. They're going to get another chance here as Jackson hands the ball off to Clark, who gets upended by Brantley, and he's got to be careful not to get a penalty there. I know he's excited, but that was a great play by Matthew Brantley.
Unbelievable play, and a great job by the head official, Ray Richardson, just letting him be a kid in excitement.
Yeah.
It was right on the edge, and I'm sure he told him next time there will be a flag.
Yeah, that was his warning. Understand he was excited. It was a great play, bringing down Clark for a loss of 6 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and long for Wilson.
And this is big, under 2 minutes here, knowing that Wilson doesn't have a kicker. If they can stop him from scoring here, this would be big.
Big defensive stop, and if you're Wilson, you probably want to bring the clock all the way down and not give Eastridge another chance. As we're going to have a flag for movement on the Wilson offensive line. So you got to remember that Wilson had the opening kickoff, which was fumbled, and Eastridge had possession. So the Lancers will get the ball to open the second half of play. So even more reason not to give them a chance to get the ball back.
100% with you. And on the Lancers side, if you can be up a touchdown going into half, knowing you start with the ball the second half, that gives you a lot more leverage.
So now it's going to be 2nd and pretty long for Wilson. They line up. Clock still moving. 1:30 to go in this opening half of play. Jackson in the backfield with Clark and Moore. He's going to fake to both of them. Hand off on the sweep to Dante McGowan. Still moving forward. Gets down to about the 15-yard line.
That was a nice play. I expected to go right. I thought it was going to go to Jakir Moore, and giving that ball to Dante McGowan, that's a nice play. You get an extra blocker in front. You get the ball to the right hash. You use the field, so you're using more clock, and you're putting their defense in space.
Both teams with one timeout to go in this opening half of play, down to 55 seconds on the clock. Wilson taking their time. It's going to be 3rd down and 14 for the Wildcats. Moore in the backfield with Jackson. Looks to the outside, now tucks it, and he's going to run. He's got some space. He's going to get out of bounds as he's pushed out of bounds by Ruben Torres down to the 8-yard line. So this is going to be a big play here to end this first half. It's going to be 4th down and about 7 for Wilson.
Well, if I'm Wilson, I'm putting it up in the corner to Clark.
Yeah.
And if I'm Eastridge, you have to double him. Go cover 0, put an extra guy in the box. And it'll be interesting to see, being on the right hash, if they put Clark to the field side or just put him up in the short corner. In the short corner, if you do that, it allows a guy to double cover without having to be out of the box as much.
I think that was Eastridge calling that timeout. Wanted to get the defense set for this play with just under 40 seconds to go in the first half. And, Coach, we were talking about the showcase event. You have December 1st coming up, and we're fortunate enough to be live streaming that as well. Can you talk a little bit about your showcase event in December?
Yeah, very excited about that. And, last year was a big success and was so big we're going to move it to Pinnacle Athletics, a bigger facility this year. It's going to be December 1st. 5:30 to 8 o'clock at night. The 5:30 to 6 o'clock portion, we're doing something new this year. It's going to be a recruitment seminar for parents to learn a little bit of education before it. And then the 6 to 8, I'm excited to partner with you guys to live stream it. So now every college in the country can watch it, not only live, but watch it on delay at another time. And just giving our kids a great opportunity to get looks. And that'll be for 2020 and 2021 graduates.
Okay, wow. Get a chance to, I think we might have another timeout. And this time, so it was Wilson before, this time it was Eastridge, so we had him flip-flop, but either way, final timeout. And, with these showcase events, we've talked about it with your event, with Prospect New York, the Power 50 last year. It's a great chance for these kids to come and get recognized. And I always remember this telling stat that I believe Coach Vidicor mentioned is, for how big New York State is in size and total population, we were something like 40th in overall recruiting, which is just astounding.
If you look at the percentage based on our side, 100% what we should be in. And Mark Vidicor and I are very good friends. We have the same philosophy, just trying to get more kids noticed. And I'm excited to have him partner with us as well as Steve Deanna from Prep Star, who's going to be running that seminar. And what's great about this, last year we had a lot of kids from our showcase get invited to his Power 50, and this year his is going to be even bigger. I think it's going to be the Power 100. But the thing I love about it too is we bring in 10 to 15 high school coaches from Section 5. We had I think 14 head coaches from Section 5 run all the skills and drills. So the college coaches are going to be there right in person up front. Every college coach in attendance is going to get a detailed printout of all the players. And this year we're going to have a professional picture with a backdrop for them so they can take a look at it.
Such a great opportunity for these young players. You guys are doing a great job, so keep up the great work. Everybody appreciates that. As we get back down the field, a big 4th down here for Wilson, 4th and 8, as Jackson drops back to pass. He goes to the corner of the end zone. This time it's Clark, and he comes away, and it's a touchdown for Wilson. So back and forth we continue.
That was an unbelievable play. Everybody's expecting the fade. He goes inside and does a quick cutout route, and the safety that was playing over the top stayed over the top, and instead of fading it to the corner, he puts it on a rope right there, and you would never expect that to give Brendan Clark the ball on a quick out route there rather than fading up. That was a nice play call.
You would not, and I've been very impressed with this young man out there. He is making all sorts of plays for Wilson as they go for 2. As a fake handoff by Jackson. He's got a couple men wide open, and he just overthrows DeJon Crumity, and that would have given Wilson the lead before half. Tough break there, but a good job by this Wilson offense coming back and drawing within 1.
Yeah, that was a great job. They go unbalanced on top of the offset power. They were unbalanced that way, so why wouldn't expect the Eastridge to come up and stop the run? It was a great play call for the 2-point. Unfortunately, couldn't convert.
As we take another look at the touchdown, great catch by Clark, and great job getting his feet down and keeping his feet in bounds. for the Wildcats. So, Coach, we've got 32 seconds to go in this opening half, and this one is certainly not disappointing.
Not at all. Very exciting, and you know, wouldn't want it any other way to have it back and forth like this. And there's still, in a game like this, there's still a lot of time left in the half. 30 seconds left. Who knows what's going to happen?
There's certainly time for another score, and we want to remind everybody at halftime, a special treat. We mentioned here it's homecoming at Eastridge. A highlight for every homecoming game here at Eastridge is the Lancer Band. So the marching band will be performing at halftime. We're going to get a chance to take a break, catch our breath, so you guys can all enjoy the Eastridge marching band at halftime. As Wilson kicks back off, this one is going to be fielded at about the 17-yard line by Eastridge. That's Hannah with the ball, still on his feet, making people miss, and gets all the way up to the 41-yard line. So Eastridge is going to have a chance here. 24 seconds left, but they're out of timeouts.
Yeah, I was surprised. I know from Wilson's standpoint, there's no way they meant for that ball to get all the way back to the deep guy, you know, trying to squib it down. But it'll be interesting. I got to believe Coach Cavuto's going to put cover 4, so you're going to have 4 safeties. You're going to have 2 high in the middle, and the corner should be playing probably about 8-10 yards off.
Eastridge is going to go 4 wide with Brantley in motion. He's going to block as Davis goes to the right and launches downfield, and there's going to be a flag on that one. Or not. His receiver, Arnold, was just getting his arm yanked. As the crowd reacts, Wilson definitely got away with one right there.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought it was going to be a flag there because he definitely was impeding him from getting to the ball. And I was really surprised that Wilson was kind of still in their cover 3. So right now in cover, okay, so now they go cover 4 across the board now here with
they're backing
the
up
safeties.
As they're going to hand off to Torres, who's got some running room in the middle of the field. It's going to be bottled up at about the 46-yard line. It's going to stop the clock. Let's see if they run up and spike it real quick with 10 seconds to go here in the opening half of play. They rush up to the line. Got to make sure to get set as the clock winds. Davis calling out signals. Snaps it and clocks the ball with 4 seconds to go to at least give themselves a chance to throw one in the end zone.
Yeah, that was tough. So the 40-second play clock, and that's a good job by Ray Richardson, the head official, adjusting that, giving them 2 more seconds because they should have. I think Ray went to start to wind up, and the line judge actually went to move the ball and set it and reset it. The 40-second play clock, Joel, is new to them this year as a no-huddle guy. We love it because now as soon as the ball's set, you can play, where before they had to blow the whistle. Now in that situation, in the past, they wouldn't start the clock until the change were actually set, and then they blow the whistle. So now he just has to wait for him set. They don't have to wait for the change anymore. So you can even go faster. But the downfall to that 40-second clock is it's going to get set faster, and now the offense isn't ready to get set to clock it.
Right, yeah. And that's looked like what happened there is they weren't quite ready. Davis, you could see his frustration, just wanted to get it clocked. But either way, they actually adjusted the clock to 6 seconds. So there's still even time to throw a quick out route, maybe step out of bounds, or we'll see if Davis just winds up and lofts one into the end zone.
Yeah, I think Sharon Davis has got the arm to get it there, but I would love to see 2 of these guys out of the bunch that go vertical and one just do a 10-yard curl to get out and leave maybe 2 seconds left, but give yourself another 10 yards.
So let's see what Eastridge does here. Davis is dropping back to pass. Looks like he's just going to wind up. Oh, what a move in the backfield. He's actually going to keep it, and this clock is going to run out as he steps out of bounds to end the first half of play in a very entertaining first half of play here at Eastridge High School. It's the home Lancers up 21-20 at halftime, and Coach, for everybody tuning in that was looking forward to a huge game, biggest game of the year, they're getting their money's worth here.
It's living up to the hype for sure. Very exciting first half, going back and forth. Going to be a lot for each coach to talk about at halftime. But I think both teams have got to be pleased where it's at, especially the way it started for Wilson to have a couple of those fumbles. The game never got away from them.
Sure. Yeah, they did a great job responding, and this has been a back and forth game, and we expect more in the second half as the band is starting to come on the field. We are going to take a quick break and come back and let you enjoy the Eastridge Marching Band. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. This is the Varsity Media Game of the Week. Eastridge 21, Wilson 20. We'll be back for the second half.
Set me free and give me death, there ain't no other choices. When I lay down to go to sleep, I keep on hearing voices. Little whispers in my head, man, is you fake or loyal? Why no water, that the sign of baby, pick your poison. These little demons living underneath my bed creeping. And when you hear the sound of the drum, we'll be saying, here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come.
It is above all others. A place where dreams are chased above the clouds. On top of the world, where the wind is fiercest, a desolate, deathly place. A place where only the strong and lucky survive. Known as Everest. When men were first drawn to Everest, it was an unknown quantity, something entirely unreachable. During the ascent, The air becomes thinner and thinner. At such heights, you're moving in a dream. A dream that deludes and debilitates. With his guts, his brains, and his soul. Why would man climb Everest? To reach and touch the sky.
Set me free and give me death, there ain't no other choices. When I lay down to go to sleep, I keep on hearing voices. Little whispers in my head, man, is you fake or loyal? Why no water, that the sign of baby, pick your poison. These little demons living underneath my bed creeping. And when you hear the sound of the drum, we'll be saying, here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come.
Eastridge High School, and we got our varsity game of the week, and it is living up to that bill. It's 21-20, Eastridge over Wilson at the half. Joel Belfinger here with varsity media, joined by Wayne Coach, football coach Dave Green. And for all those people watching, we knew we were in for a pretty good game, and everybody's pretty excited about this one. We've had a really good half of football so far.
It's definitely a good giving me the opportunity, but it's exciting. Two great programs, coaching staffs and players getting after it. It's you can't if you go for a commercial break, you better hustle back because you're going to miss something.
As fast as Eastridge is coming up the line on their offensive series, that's how quick some of these breaks have been. But we don't have any official stats because I don't know if anybody could keep up with all these stats, but it's really been good. After that opening kickoff and you saw the fumble and the recovery by Eastridge, both teams have kind of settled down and gotten back to their games.
Yeah, settling down is a great way to put it, Joel, because I was very impressed with Wilson's players and coaches that they didn't panic giving up 2 balls inside their own 20. They could have gone down 2 scores and they only go down 1 score.
Right.
And they handled it, they weathered the storm a little bit and the hype of the big game, and like you said, settled in and just did what they do.
Yeah, settled in definitely, and I don't think we've really seen any surprises. We've seen Eastridge with the ball. They've been able to move it pretty well and play really good defense as we expected. And after that first possession for Wilson, their offense looked really good, especially running the ball. And hats off to Brennan Clark as well. He had some big runs, hit that great one-handed catch, which everybody has said top 10 nominee for sure. So their offense has played well, but I think their defense has responded well to Eastridge and that initial opening touchdown that they gave up right away as well.
The initial opening touchdown they responded well to in the tempo. Really the only one they didn't respond to was they make such a great play. They're so ecstatic about that play, and next Eastridge is up ready to snap the ball before they could react to the touchdown in the end zone. But they have responded very, very well. I think Coach Mortier and Coach Ron Cavuto, defense coordinator, have them in a great position, and Coach Jobson and his team. I think I got to believe both coaches have got to be happy where they're at, but at the same point, you give up that score just before half was huge for Wilson. But that 1 point, we talked about it. One team goes for 2, one team's extra points. You hope that Wilson's not in a position to have to rely on a field goal situation because they don't have that available to them. So, but I got to believe, I think it's coming down to what we said. It's probably going to be whoever has the ball last is going to come out on top.
I think you're probably right there as we take a look at the standings so far in Class A this year. This is heading into this weekend. You see both teams at 4-0. And then right behind them, Spencerport, Canandaigua, Victor, each of those teams with wins yesterday to move to 4-1. And then even right behind them, a bunch of teams at 2-2. So the winner of today's game is going to move into sole possession of first place. But Class A is wide open.
There's no question. There are no slouches in Class A. And, we're in Class B, and there's no slouches in Class B, but I'm glad we're not a Class A school size anymore.
Well, you guys had a pretty good performance last night with a big win over Hornell.
Yeah, very, very proud of our kids. That was the first time we played a complete game, but to put us in 3-2 on the season puts us in a good position to get into sectionals.
As we start the second half of play here with Eastridge with a little trickery, getting the ball back to Hannah, one of their playmakers who's brought down at about the 39-yard line. So the Lancers will get first crack on offense and start off at the 39-yard line.
And that was a good job of their kick return team, just getting the ball and trying to get it back to their back guy. From up top looking in, sometimes you see them with the return and which way they're going, and you don't realize they have all their specific assignments. And if it ends up getting to the guy up front, sometimes it doesn't work out to the best, but not a muffed. He handled it well.
So 1st and 10 for Eastridge at their own 39-yard line to start off the second half of the play. It's the varsity media game of the week between Eastridge and Wilson. And right out of the gate, Jalen Hanna gets the quick screen to the side and maneuvers up for a first down pickup of about 5 yards.
And we talked about him earlier. He's one of the young men that came to our showcase last year and hoping he comes again this year. And you had talked about him making plays. And there he is, the first play of the second half. Get him a little bubble screen. And there's that hand clap we talked about. Yeah,
that's another one. They got him again.
And that's the guy you want to slow down. Sherrod Watkins, we talked about the first half. Now if you get him, now you know he's not going to get off the ball as fast, at least for this series.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to get two of those, I don't think. So getting back to Hannah, I believe entering this week he was averaging somewhere around 13 yards per reception. So he is an explosive threat on the outside for the Lancers on second down. And speaking of explosive, Ruben Torres takes the handoff, goes straight up the gut, and barrels ahead for about 15 yards to pick up a first down for Eastridge.
He is shifty. Very quick, sticks his foot in the ground and gets vertical. And, Watkins didn't get off the ball as fast, and that helped.
They're going with more tempo. Now they're going to reset and call in the play. Davis in the gun, flanked by Torres on his right. Looks like they almost got him again as Davis keeps it. It's going to get wrapped up at the line of scrimmage.
Unbelievable. Sherrod Watkins off that ball. He actually almost got to the quarterback as he was receiving the snap. His ball get off. Coach Jobson is right. He's unbelievable. How do you defend that at the high school level? And he's only a sophomore. He's only going to get better.
It was so quick it looked like he was offsides, but he just timed that perfectly. Davis takes a handoff. He's going to keep it himself. He's wrapped up by the aforementioned Watkins. Another play for the sophomore, number 55, Sherrod Watkins for Wilson.
Yeah, and it looks like Coach Jobson with the offense is doing what we call a check with me. Fake a call, just see how they align, and then have a play call after that. So there's that check with me. He's going to talk from up top, telling him what the play is going to be.
So another one. They did get again. See, I jinxed them. I said that wasn't going to happen twice. But Davis with the cadence again gets number 55, Watkins, to jump, and another defensive lineman as well. So another 5 yards for Eastridge.
That's a great job by Coach Jobson making that call and, take advantage of their strength, which is ball get off, and let's slow them down by using a double kill call.
So he's going to have two backs in the backfield with him. It's going to be Torres and Brantley, who motions to the right. It's going to be a handoff to Torres. Another good job by the Wilson defense of wrapping him up right at the line of scrimmage.
And that was a great job. They must have talked about that at halftime defensively, Coach Cavuto with the defense, because that Oregon motion went now in the first half. The outside backer on that side went out with him, and the backers didn't kick down. That time they went with him, and the backers kicked down, so they were balanced inside, and they were able to defend that inside trap a lot better.
It sets up a big fourth down early in the second half as Davis takes the snap, sets up a screen pass, but it looked like him and Hannah weren't on the same page, and that ball sails a little wide. So a big turnover on downs for the Wilson Wildcats to start the second half.
I tell you what, that is a great – I might have to talk to my OC and put that in our playbook. That was well designed. I think Sharon just kind of rushed it a little bit. It didn't have to be a perfect pass. Could be just a dump pass because he had the D-line upfield, and he had some guys in front of him.
He had a wall of blockers in front of him, yeah. That could have been a big play, but it's going to be turnover on downs to Wilson. Their chance on offense is Jackson takes the hands off to Moore, who picks up about 5 yards on first down. Good pickup by the senior, Jakir Moore.
And back to Eastridge offense, I got to believe up top they're saying, all right, we can run some screens against them, have them get upfield a little bit more, and they'll allow us to run the ball a little bit better.
Yeah, you were right. They had the whole defensive line in the backfield, and if he completed that pass, Hannah was going to have an escort probably into the end zone.
So here we go with Wilson. I thought they were going to put Clark out. They brought him back in the backfield.
And it backs on each side of Jackson as he's going to hand it off to Clark. Another big gain for Brennan Clark as he picks up the first down, gets out to midfield, and they're opening up some running lanes for number 6, Brennan Clark.
And as he makes a big gain, it looks like Ernest Thomas is limping off to the sideline, one of their wide receivers. They're going to bring Raheem Wade in. And either of these teams do not take a step backwards with their depth.
No, that's for sure. Ernest Thomas certainly a playmaker on defense and offense for Wilson. Like you said, bringing in Wade, you just bring in another guy, another playmaker for this Wilson team. It's going to be first down. They're going to hand off to Moore. Shows a little patience in the backfield, but not much doing there as Eastridge wraps him up at about the 48-yard line.
That was a great cut. Eastridge set the edge well, and Eastridge at the same point also the backside linebackers played the cutback very, very well. That's such a tough thing to coach defensively is that cutback because the backside linebacker wants to just fly over the top. And what we tell them is you just got to trust your teammate to do his job. Your job is to cut back, and Eastridge defense is doing a great job playing that.
Eastridge defense led by one of their captains, Noah Bowens. Hand off to Clark again. This time cuts it outside, still going, and a nice tackle by Sharon Davis to limit the first down opportunity. But another big seam for Brendan Clark as he picks up about 7.
Great play by Davis. Got a chance to get low on him before he even could respond with the stiff arm.
So it's going to bring up 3rd down and 3 for Wilson as they make some defensive line substitutions.
And Jameer Hayes for Eastridge just came over, kind of his arm hanging a little bit there. Might just got a stinger, and he's looking at the trainer, so I'm sure he'll be back in.
So under center, Jackson hands off to Moore. Picks his lane. He's going to get close. That's going to depend on the spot. He looks like he might be a little bit short. So that's going to bring up a big 4th down. So both defenses trying to make early statements to open the second half and get their defenses off the field and give their offenses a chance.
And they're going to go for it here for sure. And here comes big Mr. Dow, 6'4", 325, to protect for probably a quarterback sneak maybe. I can't imagine they're going to fake it. I think they're going in here right now. We're running a play.
Yeah, Dowdell 6'4", 325. It's amazing the size of some of these kids. As indeed you called it, looks like he's going to get that pretty easily. It's going to be a first down for Wilson as Jackson on the keeper sneaks ahead for about 2 yards.
I don't know, is there a fumble? Now they're pointing Eastridge just trying to say he fumbled it, but I'm sure he was down beforehand.
Yeah, now they signal for first down. So the drive continues for Wilson. We're almost halfway through this third quarter of play, still 21-20. A little bit of a slower tempo to open this half.
Yeah, the defense for both have all of a sudden kind of shut them down a little bit.
So 1st and 10 for Wilson at the Eastridge 37-yard line. Jackson under center. He's going to fake the handoff. He's going to roll out to his right. He's got a man open, and the catch is made, and a flag is down. That catch was made by number 14, Dejan Crumity, and I think they're going to get Eastridge for pass interference, which will be declined, and a big pickup there down to the 15-yard line.
That was a great job coming back. If Sam had saw him early, he opened up early, it would have made it a little bit easier for him. But as you said, they're going to decline it, take it, and move it on.
Yeah, ball was a little bit underthrown, and the cornerback out there just made some contact as he was looking back for the ball. Got to be one of the toughest positions to play in the field.
Really is, and that situation is the nature of the underthrown ball caused the pass interference. If it's thrown correctly, he probably defends it.
Right. So 1st and 10 for Wilson. It's going to be a handoff to Moore. Makes a couple cuts, still on his feet, cuts back. Gets all the way down to the 2-yard line. So a nice little run there on first down by Jagir Moore.
He is quick-footed. You know, they always say he's a guy who can fake somebody out in a phone booth.
Yeah.
He moves his feet very, very well and is explosive.
Very shifty and so hard to bring down, as we've seen all day. He's made a couple jump cuts, a couple quick cuts just to break out of those would-be tacklers and pick up an extra 5-6 yards. So 1st and goal for Wilson from the 2. 3 backs behind Jackson. He's going to give it to the up back. Number 23, Dante McGowan, who's still waiting on the call. It's going to be a touchdown. So he's able to power his way in for 6. And just like that, here we go. Wilson back out in front. I think we have an injury down on the play as well. So we'll take another look at the touchdown and come back and try to find out who it is down for Wilson. So we see just a simple handoff to McGowan, who gets met immediately, just keeps his legs driving, and gets into the end zone for 6 for the Wildcats. Not the biggest guy out there, only 5'9", 165, playing the up back position, but he just kept the legs going and powers in for a touchdown.
I can't tell who it is. We'll try to get you a number to see who that is down.
Yeah, we will try to find out who that is. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break and come right back for the rest of this game and find out the status of this injury. But you are watching Eastridge versus Wilson on the Varsity Media Game of the Week. Welcome back to Eastridge High School for this week's Varsity Media Game of the Week between Eastridge and Wilson. The injured player thankfully walking off on his own power is number 53, center Kobe Boston for Wilson. So as Coach was just pointing out, it makes things a little tougher when you're trying to draw a play without your starting center.
Yes, and even though he's walking off, the rules are if you're down, you have to sit out a play. So because of that, now they're going to run their 2-point conversion. I'm sure the coaches have practiced this, but at the same point, your second string center doesn't nearly get any reps like your first string center.
It's going to be a high snap handled by Jackson. He's dancing in the backfield. He's got a bunch of Eastridge players around him, and they were able to swarm him and bring him down to keep that 2-point conversion off the board. So the lead is going to be 5 as Wilson jumps back into the lead 26-21. But there's another one of those instances of not having a kicking game, and now it's a 5-point game when it probably should be 21-28.
Sure. And, and you wonder because usually their 2-point conversions are set up, he's under center, and their offset power are unbalanced. And they went to shotgun. Now that could have been the plan anyways, even if Kobe's in there. But do they make that switch because of the new center? I don't know. But Eastridge stepped up defensively and made a big play there. That was a big play because otherwise it would have been a 7-point spread.
Yeah, keep this within 5. I believe Wilson is now 1 for 4 on 2-point tries on their scores. So we'll keep an eye on that as this game unfolds to see if those points come back to haunt the Wilson Wildcats as they get set to kick off back to the Lancers for their second possession here for the second half of play. Still a really nice day out. Blue skies, sun's out. Doesn't look like people are too cold down there. I know we're nice and toasty up here in the press box. But really, I think this kind of weather, from a player's perspective, one of the nicer, conditions that you can play in, I'm sure.
Definitely, especially on the turf, and they're probably about maybe another 5 or so degrees warmer down there. That you don't want to be too hot, especially when you got fast-paced teams going at it.
Right. So the kickoff by Wilson, fielded at the 20 by Brantley, cuts back to the middle, and he gets wrapped up as he gets the ball out to the 35-yard line, which is where the Eastridge offense will come back to work. 1st and 10 from the 35. We'll see if they continue that pace that they've kind of shown throughout the first half, and they started off the second half. It seemed to, maybe wear down this Wilson defense a little bit. They seem to have some success when they went to that up-tempo.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be. I got to believe they got to go right back to it. The thing that slowed them down was the fact that Sherrod Watkins got some good ball get-off, so they kind of changed and did some more kills to kind of slow them down. But I think you got to still have those the rest of the game. But at the same point, I think sometimes you just got to go, because that's where they're made their big plays. Perfect example in the first half. They get a play where Raheem Wade makes a big tackle, and then quickly they go run a play real quick, and now it's a touchdown.
Sure.
So I agree. They got to play with a little bit that, double kill play or a kill play, but I think also they got to go back to what they've been doing, which is fast-paced for sure.
Well, we have a moment. We're going to take a look at the Prospect New York State watch list. Here are some key players to watch tonight that we might see playing, probably will see playing at the collegiate level. Prospect New York State is New York's leaders when it comes to spotlighting high school football prospects in our state. And stay tuned for information about their Power 2020 or their 2020 Power 100 Showcase event happening in April. And we've looked at Eastridge, and now on Wilson's side of the ball, we have wide receiver number 14, Dejan Crumity, and number 4, Jakir Moore, 2 players that have had pretty good games so far.
No question. Those are players if college programs don't know about. They're missing the boat, because those kids can make plays and can definitely play at the next level.
And that's what it's all about, too. These show. I mean, if you're a big-time prospect, coaches are probably going to know who you are, see some film. But these showcases that organizations such as yours and Prospect New York State, they give a chance for some of these players that might not be recognized to, get their name out there. So first down for Eastridge on the jet sweep to Brantley. He's got plenty of space on the side. He's going to walk and pick up 10 yards. A good start to that drive for Eastridge. But we do have a flag down on the play, and that's back around the line of scrimmage.
I got to believe holding on the edge, yep. And head official Ray Richardson, that's what he called. He had the edge pretty clean, and sometimes you wonder if did he really have it clean.
That was a good 5-yard cushion he had out there, and he guess that's not too surprising to see this one coming back. So it's going to be 10 yards for Eastridge as they set up now 1st and 20 from their own 25-yard line.
And, Joe, back to those showcases, I agree. It's also an opportunity for these college coaches to get a chance to talk to them in person, see them in drill-specific things. So I think it's a great opportunity for young men.
Absolutely. So 1st and 20 for Eastridge. Going to hand it to Jalen Hanna on the other side on the sweep, and he's going to pick up about 10 yards. It just doesn't seem.
There goes another flag. I wondered if it was going to come.
Yeah.
I think that Wilson kept talking a little bit more after the play, and so it'll be interesting, maybe unsportsmanlike afterwards.
Yeah,
if it is.
Possibly on Dante McGowan. He didn't seem very happy about it. Well, kind of one of those things you expect to see in a big game like this, but as a coach, it's got to drive you crazy.
Sure, no question about it. And, I've been very, very impressed with both teams that haven't got caught up in it. Sure, you make a play, you get up, you kind of stand over the kid, you quickly, with a slapping hands with respect for each other. So it's really been a clean game as far as that. And that's a hats off to both coaches.
And we've also seen the officials, giving kids a chance, like a warning, not immediately throwing the flag. So they've had their chances, and it looks like, now they're going to enforce it a little bit more. But
yeah, and Ray Richardson, head official, has been around a long time, and there's no surprise that guy his caliber is on this type of game. He's just letting the players dictate the game rather than them.
So 1st and 10 for Eastridge. Handoff up the middle to Torres. He's going to get ahead for about a yard. Good job there by that defensive line of Wilson. And now we got more activity. That is number 54, Sneed. And we got to look for possible ejection there. It looked like it. Arms were swinging, so let's let the officials clear this one out as it's getting a little heated now on both sides.
Yeah, and that's the last thing you want is to take a great game and turn it into ugly, because the downfall, the Section 5 rules, New York State rules, if you end up being kicked out of the game, you're out the next game as well.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting. Definitely punches were thrown there. So I gotta guess there's gonna be at least one person gone, but I don't know if they'll send both, and I don't know the exact numbers with that. I'd like to see right now after this, to keep this a good game, Ray and his crew just tell both teams to go to your sideline, have your coaches kind of no timeout charge, talk to both teams. Here comes the call.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so somebody's ejected from Wilson.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, he's being talked to right now. It was either. Was it 55? No, it wasn't 55. Yeah, you hate to see a game turn this way, but hopefully they can move past it and get on with getting back to the game.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see how people respond with this.
Certainly got the players and the fans back into this.
There's no question. That's the play atmosphere for sure. This would be a great time to do a kill call here, Joel, because they're going to be jumping off sides and slow them right down. Or a screen.
Yeah, take advantage of the overexcitement possibly of the defense. We'll see what Coach Jobson calls up here. He's still having a conversation with the officials. But that was unsportsmanlike on Wilson, so it's 15 yards for Eastridge, who's now all the way down to the 33-yard line of Wilson. As we get back to football, it's 1st down for Eastridge. Davis with the snap. Keeps it himself. He's going to bounce it outside. He's got some room out there. He's got some blocking downfield, too. Good job out there by Hanna blocking, and Davis is all the way down to the 14-yard line. So a big first down pickup for Sharon Davis and Eastridge.
I like the call, ride him in, QB keep. You got them all hyped up, trying to go after the ball and run a counter backside with the quarterback.
So first down for the Lancers as they are back down in the red zone and set up at the 14-yard line. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Davis in the gun.
Jet sweep.
Jet sweep fakes the jet sweep. It's going to be wrapped up in the middle by Darnell Sutton. Thought that was going to be Hannah taking that jet sweep and using his speed.
So did I, and that was a great job by the all 3 linebackers inside for Wilson to trust their reads. And we call that, well, we'll let this play go because here's Eastridge going fast.
Quick up tempo, second down. This time it is going to go to the outside. He's going to be wrapped up at about the 9-yard line. That was Hannah this time on the jet sweep.
Yeah, when you run that jet sweep, there's so many things you can do off of that. And as coaches, you tell your inside linebackers, trust your outside backers and corners to take care of the jet sweep, and don't go with what we call the eye candy of the motion going across. And they did a great job reading the guards and reading the guards to the backfield. Looks like he's going to go empty here.
Yeah, going to go on 3rd and 6. He's going to go 3 to the right, 2 to the left. As Brantley comes in motion, it's another fake to him. Davis is going to keep it. He's going to get close to that first down. And it's going to depend on the spot as he's down to about the 3-yard line. Looks like a first down Eastridge. So they're going to have a 1st and goal from the 3-yard line as the clock ticks down. Close to 2 minutes to go here in this third quarter of play from Eastridge High School.
That was a big play. I love the fact that he didn't try to get in the end zone. He just tried to take advantage of what the defense was giving him, which keep going to the edge because he had the edge enough to get to the first down, even though he knew he wasn't going to be able to make it in.
So they rush up to the line here. Let's see if they quick snap it. Davis under center. He will. He's going to give it to Torres, who bounces to the right side. He powers his way into the end zone. Eastridge back in front, 27-26.
Tough to defend. That's the hybrid version of that double wing and or single wing, you name it, and you do it as a quick snap. You can't line up to it correctly, and you can't defend it.
Yeah,
that's a great call.
Got up to the line really quickly, handed it off to Torres, punches it in, and the back and forth battle continues as Eastridge now ahead 27-26, 1:57 to go in the third.
So, and here's a smart move. You know, most teams would say, well, we go for 2 here, so we're up by 3, but they know they don't have a kicking game, so just do what you do and kick 1.
It's going to be Muthana on the kick, and it is no good. A little too low there.
And you know, even it's no good, and normally that would be a letdown, but the fact that Wilson doesn't kick field goals, that doesn't hurt them. And if where it does hurt them, Wilson goes for 2 later on. Now it's a little bit different because you're only up by 1 right now.
Yeah, certainly a numbers game, and that was the first miss on the day for Eastridge. So they will hang on to a 1-point lead as we close in on the end of the third quarter. It's a little bit slower pace for this third quarter, but, you know, I think it's both teams maybe trying to keep possession a little bit longer, give their defenses a chance to rest.
Yeah, for sure, and it'll be interesting to see how Wilson responds with the composure here. Obviously, Eastridge did a great job taking advantage of the overexcitement there by Wilson by just getting the ball quickly, going fast pace, and not allowing them to get set up. So this is going to be crucial. Not only getting the ball here, try to catch it in the air and get a good return, but it's going to be a crucial offensive series here for Wilson. Still a lot of game left, but just for the sake of the, you know, they held their composure great in the first half when they fumbled the ball. And, you know, and that really, honestly, that's very out of character, Wilson, as far as my relationship with them. They come to our spring camp, and coaches are class act, kids are class acts. They talk back and forth, a little smack, but they all get in. They have respect for each other. So Unfortunately, a little out of character, hurt them, and hopefully it doesn't affect the whole outcome here.
The kickoff's going to be bouncing around, and there's another loose ball. Clark gets his long arms up there and grabs it, and he hands it off. A little dangerous play, and the whistle did get blown. That was very dangerous by Clark, handing the ball back, and they did call forward progress stopped.
Yeah, I grabbed my headset in my head, either for two reasons. As a coach, to say, oh my gosh, what are you doing? But at the same point, was a whistle blown? And the fact that he was 6'5", he was able to get that ball, because if that's anybody else catching that high bounce again, he's getting hit before that ball. And once it hits the ground and it's gone 10 yards, you can hit him.
Yep. Yeah, so very fortunate there for Wilson to keep possession, end up with good starting field position at the 40. But I could just see as a coach when that play happened, you
you hold your heart a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Hand off to Moore up the middle. He's dragged down by a pair of Eastridge defenders after he picks up one. In on the tackle is Jameer Hayes leading the way for Eastridge.
And Eastridge is fired up. They are fired up. Ever since that situation, unsportsmanlike, and now the score.
Yeah, I see a different bounce in their step down there. You hear the fans reacting to that. Fans have been pretty loud ever since then, so they are definitely in this game. So if you're Wilson, you want to kind of counter that, get a big play on your own, get some of the momentum going back to you. And we'll see what this flag is. It's going to be a false start on Wilson, so that is not going to help things. Back them up 5 yards, bring up a 2nd and 14.
Yeah, I was interested to see what he was going to call, because he moved and so did the Eastridge kid come across. But the Wilson, it was definitely the right call. But you can tell already that Wilson quickly is going spread, because they realize how fired up Eastridge is. And here comes the jet sweep look.
Gonna fake it to Clark. Jackson's gonna keep it on the outside. He's got some space out there, showing his speed and breaking tackles. And he's trying to draw a flag, and he's gonna draw another one.
Definitely is, because the whistle was blown.
He was out of bounds, whistle was blown, and he was hit late. So you're gonna tack on 15 to about a 15-yard run. So a big pickup there for Wilson. He's gonna march right into Eastridge territory.
And, you know, in that play, that happened to one of our young men yesterday in our game. That's an effort play. That's not a dirty play. That's an effort kid running pursuit. He sees him close to the edge. He doesn't think he's out of bounds. And unfortunately, the whistle was blown already. But, you know, you don't like a late hit like that as a coach, because it's 15 yards, but you can't question his effort to get there.
Yeah, watching this game, you certainly can't fault the effort of any of these kids out there. You just see everybody trying to make a play. You see players off the ball, still blocking, trying to make a play. So it's been a, all things considered, well-played game, hard-played game by both sides.
Very much so. And I love the fact that everybody's pretty much playing within themselves. It doesn't look like anybody's trying to do more than they're supposed to be doing.
The handoff's going to go to Jackson as he hands it off to McGowan. Goes around the left side, picks up about 5 yards on first down.
That was a nice play call. Everybody's eyes are on the backfield, and both Jakir Moore and Brennan Clark, and then a little counter with Dante Clown on the outside.
Dante's done a great job in this game. He's, oftentimes gets overlooked for some of the other, position players or skill players on this team, but every time he's touched the ball, good things have happened.
Yeah, he's a young man that kind of gets lost in the shuffle if you're just watching as a fan. If you're a coach and you break down film, every big play he's part of, whether he's blocking or he's inside on a dive to keep open a big play later down the road.
There's Clark going forward, gets stood up close to the first down, but he was stopped in a hurry there by number 5, Noah Bowens for Eastridge. There's a player we haven't mentioned too much, and that's not because he hasn't been making plays, but he's been in the mix on a lot of plays. He's actually someone that Coach Mark Vidicor, Prospect New York State, says one of his favorite players in New York State. He's just got a motor on him.
He does, and they haven't used him as much as I've seen him in the past. Usually he's their H-back, hybrid of a fullback, where he goes out for a pass and leads block. He is physical. He is 6 foot 225 as an inside linebacker at the high school level. and he's put together 225, and he can move. He's definitely a player to watch.
Big player there, Noah Bowen. So we are at the end of the third quarter. We're going to take a quick break and come back with the final quarter of play here on the Varsity Media Game of the Week. You're watching Section 5 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network. All right, welcome back to the Varsity Media Sports Network. We're getting ready for the final quarter of play here at Eastridge High School. What a game we have so far. It's the Eastridge Lancers leading the Wilson Wildcats 27-26, but Wilson with the ball, driving in Eastridge territory. As Jackson with the pitch to Jakir Moore, who goes to the right side. It's a couple moves, nice tackle by Sharon Davis for Eastridge, but enough to pick up the first down for Wilson.
Great form tackle by Sharon Davis. Buzzing his feet, staying square, playing off the cutback. That was a great job, and sign of respect, helping the other player up.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that today too. I mean, everybody's going to get caught up in some of the late penalties and ejection, but overall, seen some pretty good sportsmanship from both sides. A lot of respect.
For sure.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Wilson. Jackson feeds Moore again. Was at a healthy dose of carries today. As he's still over there fighting. He's going to get about 3 yards on first down and just kept it going forward, kept those legs moving.
There's Dante McCown right in the front leading the blocking. Somebody's down. We'll have to get a number for you.
And I think, as we just talked him up, Noah Bowens, and you hate to see that, the junior linebacker, 6 foot 225. We'll wait to see for sure, but he has been all over the field. Yeah, looks like he's clutching his hamstring.
Yeah, he filled. I mean, the ball's in the middle of the field, and he's over there making the tackle on the edge play. And it doesn't surprise me a kid like that hops right up.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's in a lot of pain, and most kids would stay out. He wants to get to the side and give me some ice, and I'll be right back in.
He's probably trying to go back into the huddle, but he's got to sit out a play. We saw this last week, too. He got banged up a little bit, sat out for maybe a play, and it looked serious, and he came right back in. So good to see Noah walking off on his own.
Definitely. And, this is the time of year in high school football. We always say you're one injury away from not being a very good team, and both these teams have a great amount of depth, but Week 5 is where you start to see a little bit more things pop up.
Yeah. 2nd down and 6. Jackson's going to keep it. He's going to pick up about 3 yards and set up a manageable 3rd down for Wilson. So they're going to mark it back a little bit more. So it's going to be about 3rd and 5. 3rd and a long 4 maybe for Wilson.
Yeah, the downfall here, being on the right hash, I'm not sure how, as a right-handed quarterback, you like them rolling out to the right in the pocket. So if they're going to try to throw at some point, they're probably going to try to get him back to the left hash. It looks like the offset power to the right looks very similar to the 2-point play.
There's a toss to Moore on the right side. He's going to pick up the first down, and Moore gets down to about the 13-yard line. So nice job there blocking on the right side for Jakir Moore, able to pick up that first down fairly easily.
Great play call. Defensively, to defend that, you have to align everybody pretty much on that side to account for there. You've got three linemen on that side, 2 backs, and of course H-backs up front. So now you're gaining another 5 gaps. So you got to match gap for gap with your defense, and that's just the inside piece. And then they toss it outside. If you don't have the numbers, they're in trouble, and you could see the result there.
So it's 1st and 10 for Wilson from the Eastridge 13-yard line. Jackson hands it off to Clark this time. He's got a seam. He's going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Wilson. Brennan Clark with another touchdown, and that was a little too easy for Wilson.
Well, that was a great block, too, by Mr. Wade on the right about the 4-yard line. That was a perfect example. We were just talking about matching gap for gap. So the offset power was away to the right, and so the defense stacks to that side, and they were outnumbered when they run the what I would say an ISO to the backside. He just bounced it out.
So we know what Wilson's going to do. They're going to go for 2.
Yeah, I expect them to run that play action to the right unless they run sweep to the right. I got to imagine it's going to the right, but I'm thinking that play action's coming because it was wide open. They just missed it.
And the power eye.
There it is.
And he's going to fake it. And there's a call. He's got a man open. Jackson tries to make the play in the back of the end zone, but well covered by Eastridge. So they're able to keep this a 5-point game. Like Brantley out there in coverage as he was trying to find Ramir Wade, I think.
Yeah, that was great coverage because pre-snap, they didn't have anybody over there, but obviously the coaches coached it up all week, and I'm sure they run the goal line period, which they just threw it into the 2-point period, and I'm sure each one of them had a read. And if you don't have a read on that and you try to get caught up watching the backfield, you're going to get faked out. So they were in man there. They had a specific guy reading the end, specific guy reading the outside edge back and the backside end. And we always tell if a guy is eligible as a tight end and he's trying to get off the line fast, he's not trying to get off the line fast to block somebody.
Yeah. Well, you said it right in the beginning of the game, Coach. Team with the ball last, probably going to win this game, and it's shaping up to be that way.
Yeah, it's exciting. You know, it started off slow a little bit. We were halfway, I think, into the third before we saw a score, and now 21 points later, it's a heck of a game.
They can score in a hurry, that's for sure. As Wilson this time kicks it off deep, it's going to be in the hands of Hanna, who takes it at about the 17-yard line, kicks it outside. He's going to be run out of bounds about the 35 with a flag down.
That flag's going to be on the kickoff team on Wilson. He chopped the kid to try to take out the block, and you can't do that except for between the tackles on a lineman. So it's going to be against Wilson.
Could be a 15-yarder.
It should be, correct. Yep.
You surprised by that decision to kick it deep to Jalen Hanna?
When I saw the ball kicked off and the fact that it was going in the air, I was very surprised because they've been very successful doing what they do and keeping it on the ground. And the hardest thing to do at any level is to tackle in space. And when you got athletes like that returning the ball, I don't want to do that. And that was a perfect example. He catch the ball in the air. There wasn't anybody within 10 yards of him, where if it's on the ground, there's guys within 5 yards of him before he even gets it.
Right. So tack on 15, and it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line for Eastridge. Davis back in the gun. He's going to hand off to Ruben Torres. He's going to make his way up for a good gain of 5 yards on 1st down.
Nice play, a little handoff and cutback counter. They shuffle motion in. One of the wide receivers thinking it's going that way. Again, that's that eye candy. And they did a good job actually stopping that. That could have been a bigger gain than 4 or 5 yards.
I'm going to give him 4 on that, so 2nd and 6 as Davis keeps it himself. This time he's going to get to the sticks, pick up a 1st down for Eastridge, and move the chains again.
This is where, as coaches, you say when it gets down to crunch time, you got to rely on your technique and reads. And when you start to see big plays get bigger and bigger, that's young men just saying, I'm trying to make a play rather than just trusting your reads and your technique.
1st and 10 for the Lancers. Davis gets it out quick to Hanna. That one's going to sail over his head. It'll be an incomplete pass. You know, I think we were all coming into this game expecting big play after big play because that's what we've seen from these two teams so far. Hasn't been a whole lot of big plays, but there's been a lot of explosive plays.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to define it, Joel, is the explosive plays, and I think it just goes back to what you mentioned. There's so much speed on the defensive side, and it's team speed. It's not 1 or 2 young men. Right, it's team speed.
We've almost neutralized each other's speed. We're used to see him against other teams not quite as quick. As Davis tucks it, keeps it. It's going to go up the middle, pick up about 5 yards, on second down for Eastridge, set up a 3rd and 5.
Manageable 3rd and 5 here. I like the call. I thought they would have defended that outside sweep very well, so it was good. It was designed for him to keep it inside. And it's interesting because Wilson is, is playing with 2 high safeties right now. They're going to roll down Darnell Sutton down into the box a little bit and go back to, looks like a cover 3. There's more guys in the box now.
Going to hand it off to Torres. He's going to bounce to the right side, and Wilson's not having that. What a great tackle.
Tough to get around the edge, and Brennan Clark.
Clark again.
With that length.
Yeah, with that length. You're not going to stiff arm him. He brings Torres down, and it's going to bring up a 4th and about 8. So a big defensive play there for Clark, and he's trying to get the fans fired up.
Yeah, it's interesting. I really thought Coach Jobson was going to go with check with me play just to confirm their coverage because they had been playing cover 2, and that play based on that formation would have worked previous, but not with the way they're doing. So they're going to go the double wing. It's going to be a...
Oh, and they get him to jump again. Sherrod Watkins might get whistled for his 3rd encroachment penalty, and that's just a player trying to make a play, just getting off a little too quick.
And that's that sophomore piece in him.
Sure.
He's such an explosive player, and I'm really excited to foul his name. And he's going to be all right. It's just that's the age right now and just learning it. But he's been making plays all day. He's keeping them in the game defensively.
Yeah.
So they're going to go back with that double wing for sure. It'll probably be a quick snap.
So it looks like they are going to snap it quickly. Bunch formation. Davis now he's going to step back. Check with the sideline, and we're going to take a timeout. Coach Jobson wants to talk about this one before. This is a huge play in the game for sure. Wants to make sure they're all on the same page.
Yeah, I agree. I really thought they were going to go quick snap, but he just wanted to check with me, and he'll probably go back to that. I think he just wanted to see how the defense was going to line.
So we are going to step away and take a quick break. There's 7:04 to go in today's game. It is Wilson 32, Eastridge 27. 7 minutes to go in our Varsity Media Game of the Week. You're watching Section 5 football right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Welcome back to Eastridge High School. We are getting ready for a big play in this game. 4th down and 3 for the Lancers as they line up. Davis under center. He's going to fake the pitch. He's going to come back to Brantley underneath, and he's got a hole. He's going to pick up the first down and get all the way down to the 22-yard line, and that was a nice play call.
Yeah, we were just talking during the timeout there. I said, as a coach, I like going with a counter, which they did, but sometimes it can either be a big play like that or it could get blown up because of the fact that there could be too much chaos in there. Mm-hmm. But because there's so much chaos getting off the ball, because they want to stop it so much, that's where counters come into play. And the way they had it set up, they had the overload to the left and they run the counter back. That was a great call.
Great call. Sets up first down from the 23-yard line. Davis is going to give it to Torres, who's going to go up the gut and pick up about 4 yards on first down. So Ruben Torres with another 4 yards as we approach the midway point here in the final quarter of play, and what has been everything we expected here in the game of the week. Possibly the game of the year so far in Section 5.
For sure. And, it's interesting. When they go to this, now they're going to try to work the clock a little bit. There's still a lot of time left, but they want to make sure they take care of making the right calls here.
So it's going to be second down and a long 6 for the Lancers. Davis is going to fake, keep it himself. Makes one man miss. Gets down close to the line. He looks like he's going to be about a yard short. It's going to bring up about a 3rd and 1 for Eastridge. But even with all that going on in the middle, very hard to bring down.
It's tough because there's so much you're trying to defend. And he reverse pivots, so you're looking at the sweep. He reverse pivots, you're looking at counter, and now it's him keeping it. I like running the counter here. He's either going to run the counter or he's going to do that fullback wedge here. So Bowen's either going to take it up the gut for a big wedge to get the first, or he's going to run a counter with the wing.
Going to hand it off to Torres, who's going to get enough for the first down. But a gain of about 2 yards.
Or he's going to do neither of those, and that's why I'm in the booth.
You got so many plays to choose from when you have the type of athletes that both these teams have. That is for sure.
And that's what's so tough to defend in that double wing. And again, it goes back to what we talked at the beginning game. There's two offenses. How do you prepare for both of those? Because this double wing, you have to have a specific offense, because the only way to really stop this, we would call Ruhog, which is your D tackle's got to just bear crawl to get all the linebackers, because everything's a double team. And you got to create a pile so your linebackers, everybody can read, and then your outside backers have to read opposite wings. It's tough to defend. And Wilson actually is doing a very, very good job defending it.
Oh, they're actually going to say he's a little bit, she did not make it. So that's going to set up a big fourth down. He is just about 6 inches or so, looks like, from the official. It's going to bring down 4th and inches. And we've said this a few times, but play of the game right here so far.
Yes, for sure. And I got to go with what I was saying earlier, is the counter or the fullback wedge. Although with Sharon Davis up there, there is a guy over the center now.
And we're going to get a timeout by Eastridge. This is a huge play. Coach Jobson's going to want to talk this one over.
Leaves Eastridge now with just one timeout. Hopefully that, if they get this, hopefully that just having one timeout doesn't come back to haunt them. But you got to call that as a coach, because you want to make sure you got the right play call in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a huge point in this game. It's going to be 4th and inches, 5:14 to go. Down by 5. You want to make sure you get the right play to pick up this first down. As we want to thank everybody for joining us here, coming to you live from Eastridge High School on homecoming. And quite the crowd we got. You can't really see from the shots of the game, but there's people all around the field, over by the stands. They've been here since 9, 10 in the morning for the carnival, for the parade that they had. And you guys have a pretty good homecoming at Wayne. There's nothing like a homecoming game for the community, for the team, for the coaches. It's just always a lot of fun.
Oh, it's great. Like our homecoming was the Border Bowl with Palmyra, a rivalry. You get 3,000 fans there. It's a great atmosphere in the high school level, for sure. So back to Coach Jobson calling a timeout. That wasn't just a random timeout. He ran motion. He wanted to see how they responded to that. So I suspect he's going to go back with the tailback and back. I think he wanted to line up to see what they were doing.
Got Torres lined up behind him. He's going to get the carry. He's going to power ahead of the first down all the way down to the 5-yard line. So Ruben Torres picks up the first down and then some. And Eastridge is set up 1st and goal with about a little over 5 minutes to go in this game.
Coach Jobson said, I'm giving it to my best back. If you stop my best player, then you deserve it.
And you got a lead blocker like number 5, Noah Bowens. That's that helps.
100% with you. 100% with you.
So 1st and goal here for Eastridge. A little quick snap. Going to give it right back to Torres. He's going to get over the corner and into the end zone. Eastridge responds. And they go ahead 33-32.
Great play. Quick snap. Smash mouth football.
Take a look at this one on replay. As we see just the quick snap, good blocking, and Torres just with a head of steam. You're not going to bring him down.
No, not at all. They just overloaded, and they just brought him. And he wasn't touched until he was into the end zone.
Yeah. So now here, do you go for 2?
So in this situation, I think he's going to go for 2 because it doesn't matter the other way, but he has to go for 2 in case they do try a field goal now.
It's going to be Davis in the gun with Torres. Going to give it right back to Torres. Why not? But number 55 says no thank you. That's Sherrod Watkins making another play. and stops that 2-point conversion. That's a big play for this Wilson defense.
And, we talked about him only being a sophomore and struggling with that offsides. That's a mature sophomore right there. Responding, short-term memory. I'm going to go in, trust my technique, trust my reads, and make a play. And back to the 2-point thing, we talked about it earlier when Coach Jobson, they were down by 2 early in the game, and instead of going for 2, he just goes for 1 because you don't try to chase your 2 because that's not what you do. And that's a perfect example. You go for 2 near the end of the game when it matters. Now, will that come back to haunt them? I'm not sure because they haven't proved they have a kicking game yet. But that's the right call to go for 2 there to force them to score a touchdown to win it.
Right. And too, Wilson gets down, like you mentioned, they're probably not going to kick a field goal to beat you. So that's either way, it's probably the right call there.
Yep, for sure.
So here we go. 4:49 to go in the fourth quarter of play. It's been back and forth all game long since the opening kickoff. Currently Eastridge with a 33-32 lead over Wilson in a battle unbeatens here. Both teams 4-0 heading into the season. And we look ahead at the schedules real quick, and for Wilson, it doesn't get a whole lot easier than this. They got to travel, it's a home game, but they play East High up next, another very explosive team.
They have some players all over the place. That would be a very exciting game to be at. It'll be interesting to see. I can't imagine they're going to kick in the air deep.
No, they're going to keep this one on the ground, let it bounce a little bit. It's controlled at the 45-yard line. And some space only all the way up to midfield is Wilson. So great starting position. And that was Jalen Jordan on the return. So this offense is going to get the ball at about the 48-yard line, 49-yard line to start this drive. So good starting field position for Wilson.
Yeah, Jalen Jordan did the same thing earlier in the first half. Way to be on your toes, field the ball, and get upfield as quickly as possible. The stands are starting to shake a little bit now.
They're
shaking, getting into it.
Shaking a little bit. This crowd is fired up as Wilson gets another chance at this. We haven't seen a punt today, so you got to think last team of the ball as we get a sweep to Brendan Clark on the left side. He's going to get tackled out of bounds. Noah Bowens takes him down. Clark takes a little offense to that as he walks through the Eastridge sideline, but we're going to get them separated pretty quickly.
I'm surprised the flag wasn't thrown there. I don't think it was malicious by any means. They were coming full speed to the side. Probably a good no call there and let the players play.
Yeah, it looked like he was finishing his tackle, but it was definitely past the end line, so it could have gone either way, but they've been kind of letting them play a little bit more today.
Now the officials have done a great job today keeping control, and that is such a tough job. And if anybody's interested in being an official, I highly encourage you to do it. It's a great way to get back to the game and be up close and personal.
Absolutely. 2nd down and 5 for Wilson. Another sweep, this time to the right to Brendan Clark. And this time Eastridge with a great job. Saron Davis helps up Clark after tackling him for a loss of 1. That's a big-time play out there by the cornerback, Saron Davis.
Big-time play is right. 5'10", 153 against 6'5", 195. Low man wins in this game, and he tackled him low and got him down to the ground.
Yeah, big play is going to bring up a 3rd and 5 as now the crowd really gets into it. You see these Eastridge players on the sideline. They are getting this crowd fired up. Yet another big play in this game as we're under 4 minutes to go. 3rd and 5 for Wilson. Jackson's going to hand off to Moore. Bounces out to the right side. He's going to pick up the first down. He's going to get knocked out by Ruben Torres. Big hit over there on the sideline, but not after Jakir Moore picks up the first down and another 4 as we got another injured player down, this time for Wilson.
Jakir Moore, what a powerful runner. Great hit, but stuck his foot in the ground to try to get upfield and get the first down. Great run.
He is fun to watch out there. Hard to tackle, and he just keeps going, making people miss. As walking off the field on his own power, Jamal Joseph for Wilson. So good to see that young man get off to the sideline.
Yeah, and that's their right tackle. So they've been having success running to the right. So he's going to have to go out. He's going to have to go out for a play no matter what. So Are they calling timeout? I'm not sure here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's first down for Wilson, and we have the officials over in front of the Eastridge sideline talking to the coaches. We're not really sure what about.
Well, now they got it marked as third down, so I don't quite understand that if he went out of bounds maybe before.
So, unless there was a flag down that we missed. But it looks like it's going back to the line of the original line of scrimmage. And it's going to be 3rd and 5 for Wilson.
Yeah, and Ray Richardson over here, the head official, talking to him, so I'm not sure what happened. And we've been, gosh, we're on top of things, and I don't know what happened because it was just 3rd and 5.
We just heard the PA announcer say replay 3rd down. So, for whatever reason, it's going to be 3rd down and 5.
Well, and I don't see Coach Mortier and the coaching staff for Wilson out of their mind over there, which I would be because you just got a first down. So, something must have happened before. It may have blown the whistle dead, and because of the shaking noise here and everything.
Yeah, it could be.
It went pretty far for nobody not to know what's going on.
So let's try this again. 3rd down and 5 for Wilson. They're going to hand off to Clark up the middle. Gets through one tackler and then gets stood up. Bowens and company stops him at about the 49-yard line. So that's going to bring up 4th down and 4. It's a good job there by the defensive front for Eastridge.
Yeah, nice counter play. I like it. You wonder if having Jamal Joseph out that play, who was the right tackle, if that's maybe the reason why they went to the left, because he's been strong from. It'll be interesting here. I think you go to your playmaker here, Jakir Moore, unless you're throwing it up to 6, but Brennan Clark and them in the backfield, so I think Moore's going to be touching it here.
Jackson takes the snap, pitches it to Moore. He's running upfield. He's held up, and he is going to be short. So a big stop by the Eastridge defense. They are fired up. They are going to get the ball back, but we do have another flag on the field. It's hard to see, but there is a flag down over there on the far side.
It's based on Wilson's reply.
It's going to be against Eastridge. Wow.
And it's got to be face mask, and we'll see Ray Richardson about to give the call here. Yeah, face mask.
Wow, what a big play in this game to the chagrin of the home crowd. It's going to be a first down for Wilson, so they're still alive. This drive continues. And with just 2:52 to go in this game, new set of downs for the Wildcats. Wow.
Yeah, great play. They get a face mask. You know, I was talking about officiation. It's an unsung hero's job. You do a good game when nobody knows you're there.
Right, sure.
You know, and they don't just throw flags to throw flags.
No,
he obviously had the face mask on there. And you just hate it when it's a big play, you stop them, and that happens.
Yeah, such a huge situation, a big stop on 4th down, and then give them the first down. So we got another whistle. Starting to get a little sloppy. We got to delay a game on the offense. That's a tough penalty to take right there for Wilson.
Yeah, well, you know, here's the tricky thing. So we talked about the 40-second play clock, but when it's after a penalty, it becomes a 25-second play clock.
Right.
So now, anytime you hear the whistle, so this is a 25-second play clock again too. Sometimes the coaches and you forget about that, and next you know, the hand's up by the back official and he's waving his 5 seconds off. They're at 10 now.
Yeah, and even harder, most places don't have those score clocks in yet. As we're going to get handoff through, Brennan Clark kicks it to the outside. He's got some room out there. He's turning on the jets. He's going to get all the way down to the 16-yard line, and then another flag comes in. 2 flags come in after he's taken down out of bounds. He is fired up. What a big play for Brennan Clark and the Wilson Wildcats.
You knew the next play that was close to be hit out of bounds was going to be a flag. They weren't going to let another one go. Effort is great, but you can't have that.
Yeah, especially.
But I'm wondering here if that's against Noah Bowens, if that's his second unsportsmanlike, I don't know if he got the first unsportsmanlike, but based on his reactions, he's pretty upset. Now maybe he must be going back in.
Yeah, he's going back in.
He's a competitor.
Yeah.
And that's why he's a player to foul, because he loves to compete. He loves to compete.
And like you said, these plays have not been malicious. This is just two teams going at it. And,
Yes.
you know, the adrenaline gets the best of you sometimes, and you just want to finish the play, and sometimes you get a penalty because of it.
Yep, it's definitely been a clean game and a great, hard-fought game. And it's all effort. Those are effort. There's definitely no lack of effort across the board. These coaches, no matter what happens, when they get done to watching film, and maybe some techniques are off here and there or assignments, but there's no lack of effort across the board for either team.
None at all. So we are under 2 minutes. 1:53 to go. Wilson driving, down by 1. What a game this has been. Sam Jackson under center. He's going to take the snap. He's going to fake. He's going to go to the right. Tries to go through a pair of Eastridge defenders, but gets stood up. And he's going to be brought down after a short gain.
What a hit.
That was big number 72, Najim Dowdell, I believe, in there. One of the two defenders to bring him down. So 2nd and goal from the 5 for Wilson.
6'4", 325. Tackling 5'11", 180. A little bit different animal.
Yeah, a little bit. 2nd down and goal for Wilson as they are trying to bring this clock all the way down. Jackson with the snap. Gives it to Moore. He is tackled short of the goal line. He's going to get down to the 2-yard line. If you're Coach Jobson, you got that one timeout. Might want to think about using it here. So it's 3rd down, 2. Looks like they're going to spot it at about the 3-yard line. So we've said it about 10 times. This is a huge play in this game, and this is the game right now with 45 seconds to go. 3rd down. Let's see if the Wilson offense can punch this one in.
They got to be giving it to Shakir Moore. He's got to be touching the ball here.
He's been the workhorse all day. Let's see what they do. They're going to give it to Clark up the middle, and he is not going to get in. He's still running, pitches it back to Jackson. He's dancing around, and he's going to be brought down at the 2-yard line. So he is not going to get in. What a play that was.
20 seconds. The clock's running low.
Clock is still winding. Coach Mortier is going to get on the field. He's going to call a timeout. What a wild sequence that was.
Unbelievable. You know, your heart goes into your throat after you see him pitch it. And that's not the second time that happened today. I was surprised to see that again happen. And what did we say? Who has the ball last? It's going to come down to.
Absolutely. This is the game right here with 18 seconds left. And that was Brendan Clark trying to make a play. He can't fault his effort. He was wrapped up. He saw his quarterback stand behind him. He pitched it to him. And it didn't work out, but you got to credit the hustle with him. And, you know, just tip your cap to both teams today. What a well-played game for whoever comes out on top today.
No question about unbelievable game. You know, going to this right now, I like the idea of just throwing it up a fade to Mr. Clark in the corner. But somehow, some way, Sam Jackson's going to be having the ball on the edge. And he got so many athletes to choose from. It's such a great problem. You know, and on the other side, Jobson and his defense right now, they got to be thinking the same thing. But it looks like they're going to go a full house backfield of some sort.
Now they're going to spread Wade out to the right. Single wide receiver out to the right side.
So they may be coming this way with Shakir Moore.
So here we go. And we're going to get a timeout first. Coach Jobson's going to use his final timeout.
Yep. Great use of timeouts. Coaches have been doing a great job with their decisions. And, you know, sometimes you can, you know, you talk to the players about don't make this game any bigger than it is. Sometimes as coaches you can get caught up in the moment and not thinking clearly of what you should be doing. And that's a great example right there of Coach Jobson. Let me take a timeout. We saw how they align. All right, guys, if they show this is what we're going to do, and this is what to expect.
What all the hours of film prep that you guys put in, this is where it pays off the most, right?
There's no question. I mean, this game today is not won just here. It's already won early in the week because you prepared for everything possible.
So we're going to keep it right here for this, not final play of the game, but biggest play of the game so far. 4th down and 3, 4th and goal at the 3-yard line for Wilson. Both these teams 4-0, looking to go to 5-0 on the season and take a stronghold in Class A with several teams coming up right behind them. So this crowd's getting fired up. The Eastridge players, the Wilson players getting going. Here we go, 4th and goal from the 3.
And it doesn't look like Coach Mertier's changed what he was going to do because it's the same formation.
Same formation, yep. Jackson under center. Trying to draw him off sides. Going to take the snap, going to pitch it to Moore. He's got a lot of room. Let's see who's going to make it to the corner. He jumps and he's down. A big play on defense. A huge stop for the Eastridge Lancers, who got him down just short of the goal line. Eastridge ball.
Well, here's the issue, though. You're at the 1. You can't take a safety.
You cannot just kneel the ball. You got to get a little bit of pressure.
And you got number 55, Shadir Watkins. So I'm telling you what I'm doing right now. I'm going to hard count and try to draw him off sides.
Try to give yourself a little bit of breathing room.
Because delay a game, they're going to move it half a yard.
Half a football, basically, yeah. Just how close was he? He is down at the 1-yard line, inside the 1-yard line. This game could come down to a yard. I think Wilson's going to use one more of their timeouts.
Yeah, I mean, normally in this normally if it's anywhere other than on the field, you say, you know what, you beat us, nobody needs to get hurt, you just let them take a knee. But in this situation, you can't expect offensive line to expect they're just going to let you take a knee.
No, yeah.
And you really can't because of where you're at.
Well, Coach, we've seen some great games already in Section 5. Certainly, McQuaid Aquinas comes to mind as one of the bigger games of the year. But in terms of the hype and living up to the hype in the actual game, this one's got to take the cake in my book. Best game of the year so far.
No question about it, and I'm so happy that it did live up to the hype, especially the way it started out. We didn't know what was going to happen and Wilson handled it. They were composed. They responded. The coaches have got to – nobody's going to be pleased as a coach, but you got to be happy with how this is transpired.
Yeah, just a few years removed from a Section 5 championship, Wilson is right back up at the top again. As we see on first down, what will happen? It's going to be Davis just plowing ahead, keeping out of the end zone. And we're going to have Coach Mortier is going to use his final timeout, try to get one more chance at a safety. But it looks like Davis pushed the pile up to about the 2-yard line.
Used your timeouts. I think the coaches have done a great job across the board. They've let the players play. Using their timeouts, great. That was a great decision. From the outsiders looking in, they might even recognize that. But it was a QB sneak, but he went off to the right tackle because he knew the pressure was coming inside.
Yeah.
What a great game.
A great game. He's going to come down to a 1 point, and basically it came down to 1 yard. It was just which defense was going to make that stop, and it turned out to be Eastridge today. But Wilson played a heck of a game on their end, too. They have nothing, like you said, they have nothing to hold their heads down about. They showed that they deserve to be right at the top of Class A.
No question, Mount. We talked about the offenses all pregame and the defense with their speed, but the defense is to make the stop.
So one more play. Davis is going to run this clock out, and there you go. Eastridge moves to 5-0 with a huge victory over the Wilson Wildcats in easily the game of the year in Section 5. What a great game played by both teams, and you love to see the sportsmanship out there at the end, too.
Awesome. That hats off to the coaches, the players. A play like that, to end like that, and these guys are slapping each other up and hugging each other from the other team. That's what it's all about. What a game. What a game. Just the atmosphere from the get-go here. Just a clean game all the way through. We aren't going to see the last of these two playing each other But then again, Class A is wide open.
Class A definitely wide open, but I agree with you. I would not be surprised if we see these two teams right back there in the sectional finals. But what a game it was today. The final, Eastridge 33-32, and you really want to emphasize what a great game it was by both teams. We want to thank our videographer today for today, Chris Van Kampen, doing a great job at the pictures you saw today. And Coach, we want to thank head coach Dave Marine. Thank you for coming on our broadcast and providing such great insight from a coach's perspective. We enjoyed having you.
No, truly an honor. I really appreciate all Varsity Media does and having me on here. It was a great opportunity. I think I caught up to the speed. I didn't know if I was going to be able to catch up with the speed of this game, but what a great front seat opportunity to have. With hats off, great job working with you, Joel, and hats off to Ben Turchin behind the scenes with Varsity Media, and looking forward to working with you guys in the showcase, and would love to have the opportunity, if it opens up again, to do another game. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Great job today, Coach. And this was the best game of the year. I'm going to say it. 33-32, Eastridge with the win over Wilson. Both teams with a phenomenal game. We want to thank everybody for tuning in for today's broadcast. And just a reminder, go back later in about a half hour. This game will be available. Go ahead and watch it again. Let your friends and family know. Watch this game. This was a very entertaining game. Thanks again for everybody for joining us for our Varsity Media Game of the Week. You've been watching Section 5 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Thanks and good night.